friends, welcome back everyone, welcome back to our second broadcast of Saturday of the day. We were just live earlier with KSL week number 10, and now we return for some more StarCraft with something a little bit different. Welcome everyone to the second edition of the Rice Cup. Oh my. As this is a tournament for amateur players, for players between the leagues of Bronze and Diamond. We did unfortunately miss the first iteration of this tournament, but we are here for the second, and spawning in the top right hand corner we have a player that we are very familiar with. We have the Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder. It is Roselia. And spawning in the bottom they're both saying hi. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Royal Blood, we have their opponents. We have the Australian Zerg player representing Team Infected, as he is the owner of Infected. It is ErebusBlack. I should fix that. Hi, but yes, here we go. The second iteration of this event, the first time that we are casting it. Unfortunately, the first Rice Cup was a couple of weeks ago, and that was during the very dark week when I had no internet. I had no internet for an entire week, and I missed out on the very first Rice Cup. I felt so bad. Well, oh my god. Remember to subscribe to support hearing more of Light's sultry voice. Oh, Bappy. I don't have a sultry voice, do I? Oh my god. But regardless, we missed out on the first edition, but here we are with the second. Shout out to Rise, the organizer of this event is of course Rise SC2, the Australian Protoss player, and you can check out his social media for when the brackets are posted. I'm not too sure what kind of sparked his interest in this, but he did suddenly want to support and provide for the StarCraft scene. So he has started his semi-regular amateur series. I don't really know if there's a set schedule for this, whether it's going to be a bi-weekly or a monthly sort of thing, but regardless, you know, we will be here to try and cast this event whenever it does come up. We will do our best. This event, of course, is open to the entire world. It is not region locked by any means, but it is restricted to players who are Bronze to Diamond on the NA server specifically. So if you're Diamond on NA, but you're Masters on Europe, for example, then you do not qualify for this event, unfortunately. So here we go already as we get into the swing of things. Two players that we are very familiar with. Roselia is a SDO champion. Duckling Open was our own Bronze to Diamond tournament that we used to host last year. For many years, I think for like 4 years, we hosted our bi-weekly Diamond tournament, and Roselia is a Diamond champion from the Duckling Open days. Meanwhile, ErebusBlack is very cheesy, is known for his cheese. I don't think Roselia is familiar with Erebus, but he is all about the aggression. We see a very fast Roach Horn being thrown down. Roaches on the way, Lings as well. Erebus is not droning. We're cutting workers here at 19, and we're going to be sending everything across the map. Roselia back at home. We do have a pretty standard 1-1-1 setup. Thankfully, no 3cc opener here from Roselia, so it is going to be opening up very defensive overall, and as the roaches have been spotted, we have tanks on the way. Ooh, but I don't know if this is the wisest of choices. Roselia throwing down the bunker on the low ground when typically we want to defend on the high ground. We don't have enough to hold on to the natural base, so I feel like this is a bit of a misstep here from Roselia. This bunker is not going to finish, and as a result, we're not going to have any bunker at all. There we go. We have a cancel. We do have a full wall off. There we go. We are giving up on the natural base, but again, there should be a bunker up here. We should have been able to save the SCVs on the low ground as well, and as a result, Erebus is going to be finding some more damage, but the tank does come out in time, and the tank does shoo these away. There are not enough Ravagers to bile down said tank. There is an Overlord for high ground vision, but the tank is getting in position. Oh, once again, we're being very adventurous. The Overlord does go down. Solid pick off here from Roselia. This means that we do not have high ground vision. We can't focus down this tank, but taking control of the low ground is going to be a tough ask. And there we go. The Lings go down. The target firing from the tank on the Ravager. Ooh, one shot away from going down. The Ravager does survive in the end, does pull back in time. Ooh. And Roselia has defended. Lost a couple of SCVs. Looking at the units lost tab here, one SCV and one Reaper went down, but honestly, pretty solid hold overall. And we're setting up into what looks to be a 2-base all-in. The third CC is very delayed. We throw down 2 more Raxes instead, as well as an NG Bay. Meanwhile, back across the map, Erebus has been forced to drone. He wasn't all in. He was looking to take control of the low ground, and he did for quite some time. But we have some catching up to do, and we're going straight into a lair. Interesting choice. So typically off of a Ling Roach opener like this, it is standard to go into a Spire as the follow-up. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now, but we'll see if more gases are taken. For the time being, we're still staying on one gas geyser. Oof. So I'm curious to see what this lair is going to be for. Is it just going to be for Roach speed, or do we intend to tech up in a different way? As Erebus is a little bit supply blocked, quite heavily supply blocked. Ooh, 5 Overlords are on the way. The Cyclone hunting down whatever he can. How many Overlords have we killed? 2 already. Cyclone gets a look on the Ravager. The Ravager will also fall, and Erebus is struggling right now. We do have the drop into the main base. These are vanilla Marines. There is no stim, but they get the Queen. Oof. There we go. One Queen, it goes down. A couple of workers get focused down as well, and Erebus is trying his best here to keep up with the drop play, but all this damage is just compounding, especially because Erebus has been on a low worker count to begin with. Hasn't really been focusing too much on saturating his bases, so every worker lost hurts that much more. Back at home, still no third CC. Bear that in mind. We have that 3 rack setup. We do have medevacs on the way for some more drop play. Marines across the map trying to pick off another Overlord, but this time they are going to be fended off. And Erebus is just trying to catch back. No! Just trying to catch back up, but another Overlord gets caught out. Oof. And soon to be another. This Cyclone has 4 kills already. 4 Overlords, soon to be 5. Oof. Overlord does go down. Can we get a Queen? This Cyclone is actually getting insane. This is far too much damage already here. Erebus is responding with his Lings. Lings should be able to clean this up, and finally this Cyclone should go down as Erebus goes for another 6 Overlords. The supply blocks are brutal as another Overseer goes down, and the Cyclone turns around as well. Oof. Oh boy. Not like this, Buffy, not like this. There is that Spire that we were talking about again. This is a pretty standard follow-up. Unfortunately, Erebus's economic position hasn't been good enough to go into a Spire as soon as the lair was done. So this is going to be a late transition. We still haven't saturated these gases, and even if we did, we have an army coming. We have the follow-up. This is going to be hitting with Stim +1. Not combat shields, but regardless, we have a mass amount of Marines and tanks, and Erebus just doesn't really have an army. No Ravagers, no Banelings. The Lings, they trickle in and they all go down. The Hatchery will be falling as well, and Roselia is looking to start off with a bang here, and Rice Cup number 2 is looking to start off with a bit of a lead. Roaches are on the way. 15 Roaches. That's a lot of Roaches, to be fair. But the production is being camped. So the eggs are being camped. Oh god, the Roaches, they come out, but as they do, they get fired upon by every single Marine. With that, Erebus is knocked down to 2 bases. Has a couple of Roaches, no Ravagers though, so it's going to be difficult to deal with this tank. Tank does siege in position here. I think does have range. Yeah, it does have range to hit that gas geyser if we have vision. There we go. The other tanks are getting set up as well. We've been very conservative with our stims, by the way. We do have stim and combat shields. We haven't gone for it yet. We are respecting the army. There we go. We have the first stim. The mutas have been spotted, and mutas are not what you want against this amount of Marines. As we stutter step forward, we break on through. And down goes the remaining forces of Erebus. And a cheeky opener to begin with, but wasn't able to get out in the end. GG. Note to self, losing Overlords is not good. Not wrong. As Roselia takes game 1. GG, well played. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. Catching up in the chat. Apparently the next one is on the 27th. There we go. We already have a date locked in, the 27th, in 2 weeks. So maybe to be a bi-weekly event, possible. Yeah, it's all up to Rise when it comes to how consistent we want these events to be. But yeah, good to hear. As is being said in the chat, if you are watching and if you're interested in joining this event, if you yourself are platinum, gold, silver, bronze, diamond even, and if you want to take part in this, follow Rise over on Twitter. He will post whenever signups are held. If you are interested in maybe consolidating in a Discord server, I'm sure maybe Rise would think about making a Discord server. Otherwise, you can follow the CranKy Ducklings, as signups are posted on our Discord server as well whenever any kind of amateur event like that does go live. We do our best to promote as many events as we can. As we're getting ready for game number 2. But yeah, the constant supply blocks are a little bit brutal. I mean, we had that one Cyclone with like 4 to 5 Overlord kills, and yeah, it was the constant supply blocks that were really holding ErebusBlack back for a lot of that, as we're going to be getting into game number 2. So I'm in my country. Mako, I assume, are you the Peruvian Mako? Are you the Peruvian Terran? De Latino America, papi. ¿Eres? ¿Sí? Seguro. As we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, we have our Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder and currently leading this series. It is Roselia. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Babylon, we have their opponents. We have the Australian Zerg player. He's a teal Zerg representing Team Infected. It is ErebusBlack, also known as the Agitated Ling. Let's go. So yeah, an interesting opener. Once again, we're going for a gas first here from Erebus. Oh boy, so
Game paused.
As we're gonna be getting a bit of a pause as well. Hopefully everything is okay. Looks like Roselia is experiencing a little bit of latency, and we may be looking to just wait a little bit and hopefully clear it up. Maybe close Steam, you know, any kind of downloads going on in the background. Oh. Any downloads, or maybe someone else is on the network or something. So hopefully everything is okay. Just gonna wait for the lag to clear up, and then the players will let us know when we're good to go. Oh, but yeah, it's great to see some amateur tournaments again.
Game resumed.
As it looks like the players are ready, we go for the countdown, and we are back in game 2. So, just to try to come back into this game, Erebus did go for a gas pool opener. So once again, with this fast gas, this does mean that he's going to be going for either a Roach Rush again or a Bane Bust. Regardless, we're going to have a lot of gas to begin with, and Erebus, he isn't the most orthodox player, especially because last game we saw him rush into a Roach Warren. It's very possible that this game he'll have something else up his sleeve. I don't think he's really one to do the same thing game after game. I'd like to think he has a little bit more versatility than that. But we'll find out. We will find out as the gas has been taken. We do have enough gas here for Link Speed, and there we go. Link Speed is on the way. We don't pull out of gas, so we are going to be going for either a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren. Once we get 50 gas, we can throw down that Baneling Nest. Bane Busts are not quite common here in this matchup, but they can work out quite well if they go unscouted. As we have exceeded that 50 gas count. This, ooh, and it's not going to be a Bane Nest. It is going to be the Roach Warren instead, so it's not going to be a Bane Bust. Instead, it is the same opener as the last game. Meanwhile, interesting choice here. Roselia goes for a Rax Expand, but the Reaper stays at home instead. Oh, I don't know if I like this. So Roselia is trying to hard counter a pool first, is trying to hard counter even a 12 pool when links come across the map to try and delay the CC. So because that, Roselia will be safe against lings early on, but won't have any scouting. You know, the Reaper ideally goes across the map. Do you see the lings that do show themselves? So the Reaper is going to be able to do some damage, and as soon as these lings go down, the Reaper has to zoom across the map. But the Reaper is staying back at home, so again, Roselia is playing blind, and Erebus, this Roach push is going unscouted. This is a terrifying thought. The bunker does finish, but again, even a bunker full of Marines will eventually get focused down by these Roaches. We're going to have to rely on repairs. We have to pull boys immediately to make sure that this bunker stays up and running, and there we go. The Reaper is finally moving out. As the Reaper moves out, we spot the Roaches, but the Roaches are already more than halfway across the map. The timer has begun. Roselia has to react here. We have a Hellion on the way, Marines as well. There is no Cyclone, there is no tank. Again, a late reaction from our Korean Terran. Oh, but we can focus down these Roaches. The DPS here from these Marines is quite high, and oh, we were a little bit overzealous. Oh my god, Roselia is going to be chasing these Roaches down. And what I mean by that, as soon as we saw this bunker, I feel like Erebus should have backed off, made Ravagers, and slowly laid siege upon this with Biles, eventually broken through the bunker, eventually broken into the natural. Especially with no tank and no Cyclone, there's no way for Roselia to really stop that. But alas, Erebus was maybe a little bit bloodlusted. He just rushed up the ramp anyway, he felt the urgency to do damage, and alas, that was his downfall. Roselia defends, and Erebus has to go for wave number 2. Erebus is not droning, still not droning, and has a Bane Nest, so Erebus is going to be going for a Bane Bust. Interesting choice. I do think that Ling Ravager can kind of have the same success, to be honest, but we'll see. We'll see how Ling Bane Roach Ravager does. We already have one tank on the low ground. We have a second tank on the way as well. Oh boy. Yeah. This is going to be quite a defense here from Roselia. We haven't walled off. We could throw down, you know, some depots and try to go for a bit of SimCity, but no, we're just going to be relying on the bunker for the time being. We still have plenty of units on the way. We have our medevacs coming out as well. And Erebus is committed to the all-in. We're going in, Papi. We're going in. Hi. Bane Nest is done. I imagine going to be morphing in a couple of Banelings. Ooh, Roselia's moving out, and as Roselia moves out, do they spot the army? Looks like now they do. Here we go. The Lings, they already dive on top of the Marines, on top of the tanks. The bunker is empty, and Erebus is powering on through. The boys are pulled, but you know what? This is a little bit too late. That was the perfect scenario, there for Erebus, but somehow, some way, the SCVs refused to die. Only 2 workers went down. We did reset the tank counts, but we lost the army. That wasn't a bad trade from Erebus, but alas, Erebus had to do more damage than that. He is in the gutter when it comes to the worker count. He's got 24 drones, and that is it, as opposed to Roselia with 41 SCVs. Now, we did lose all of our tanks, to be fair, and because of that, that may dissuade Roselia from moving out, but Roselia can just go for drop play. We have medevacs. You know, we've got medevacs, we've got Marines. As long as we wall off, we should be fine back at home. But it looks like, there we go. We go for a scan. We see the lack of triangular threat at least, and there we go. The medevacs are moving on forward. We're only moving out with 1 medevac. We're going to be keeping the other back at home. So Roselia doesn't want to take too many risks and wants to make sure that she is safe, or they are safe at home. Here we go. The drop does get eyes on the 3rd base. This is going to be cancelled at the same time. Erebus getting ready to potentially... I don't think he wants to commit to a Bane Bust. We're droning behind this. It looks like he's just you know, ready for any kind of move out. Marines do show up across the map, and yeah, this third base is not meant to be. Stim is done. The third is, ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel as well. Erebus not reacting well enough. At the same time, it looks like Erebus tried to push up this ramp. Oh my god, that's where Erebus's attention was. Did bring down the bunker and depots, but not much else. Oh, and this drop is going to get an insane amount of damage done. There are no lings left, no banelings, no queens, no nothing, only drones. The boys are pulled, and 6 go down. Oof. It's going to be a long road to recovery here for Erebus. I mean, you know, still has roaches at least, and has decent saturation on 2 bases, but with no third base, that doesn't just impact Erebus's economy, that also impacts Erebus's production as well. Oh. Aye, aye, aye. There we go, Liberators are moving out across the map. Here come the rest of the drops as well. Roselia going to be keeping their tanks back at home to defend against any kind of counterattacks. You love to see it. We're just going to be relying on drop play, and that may still be enough. Looking at the units tab, we have 8 roaches to defend, and only 8 roaches. Here we go. The drop is slipping into the natural. Liberators into the main. Double drop into the main base as well. The multi-prong aggression is real. Looks like Erebus has enough to defend his natural, but I don't think I can say the same for his main base. Ooh, with these Liberators, we have control of the main. We take down the spawning pool and the roach warren. The roaches try to stop this from happening, but the drop play is just too damn good. The positioning is too good. The Sim City GG gets called, and Roselia will take the series 2-0. GG, well played. Oh, GG, well played, and congratulations to Roselia for taking the series here and advancing on to the next round. Meanwhile, it looks like we have some other updates as well. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourself, as we have some updates going on. It looks like HBT, another Australian player, I think Australian Zerg or Protoss, one or the other. I think Protoss. Right, it's been a while. HBT does take down Neverstar or Ennis 2-0 and moves on to round number 2, where HBT is going to be facing ILikeTrains. Meanwhile, Roselia moves on forward as well to face the winner of Deja Vu and Tainted. Oh boy. So yeah, as a reminder as well, as we can all see on the bracket, it is a double elimination, so these players have another chance, they have another life and a way to come back in this tournament from the lower bracket. It's going to be a rough one, as of course you don't have any lives afterwards, and I believe those are best of 3s, not best of 1s, so solid series are going to be going on there. But yeah, it's gonna be difficult to come back from that portion of the bracket. Oh. And I guess we have a little bit of time to ourselves to wait for the winner of Deja Vu and Tainted, as the winner goes on to face Roselia. So we'll just be chilling. Meanwhile, it sounds like Trains and HBT just started their first game, as they are underway as well. I'm unfamiliar with Trains, and I know HBT as a community member of the Australian scene, not so much a player, so I don't really know how they play. I kind of jumped on the 2 players that I'm familiar with, like Roselia and Erebus. I know them, I'm aware of them, so I kind of jumped on that. But yeah, I'm ready to be exposed to some new players, to some new diamond players in the scene. I'm ready for it. I hope everyone in the chat is enjoying themselves as well. Oh, hello, Wood Melting in the chat. Apparently some ads going off here and there. Emperor Fubel as well. Rise, Mako, Mako. 16 Squad Senseki. Miyama, yo! Miyama S. Brian, let's go. Shout out to Yama as well. I assume it's Yama, not Llama. Maybe Llama as well. For giving us a little bit of information about the tournaments. You know, we got links to the Twitter. You love to see it. We're getting ready for this. What a level these players? Bronze to diamond. Bronze to diamond. Yes, yes. And the last players, diamonds. Diamonds. Both Erebus and Roselia are around diamond 1. Diamond 1 in skill. And bronze 3. But yeah, I guess because we have a little bit of time to ourselves, I guess another shout out to Rise, who is in the chat. Rise, we have casted many times actually, specifically in ESL Open Cup Asias. You know, every now and then Rise decides to play in some of those tournaments, and famously did take a game off of Hero at the very start of the year. Was an amazing moment. Was a lot of hype. I was casting out with Chase. And yeah, we're big fans of Rise. Unfortunately, doesn't compete as often anymore, but still a part of the StarCraft scene nonetheless. So, you know, Rise, we do really appreciate that that you're willing to commit a little bit more and to invest and to actually host this event for some of the other amateur players out there. I mentioned it earlier, we used to run Duckling Open, which is a diamond tournament, and Masters Swan Open, which is a Masters tournament, for a long time. We hosted them for a long time. But last year was our last year just because we were kind of running out of funding and we were having a hard time like affording everything when it came to our tournaments. And of course back then we had salaried players as well, and yeah, things were getting really tight for the Ducklings, and they still are, to be fair. They still are. So we stopped our tournaments for a while. We recently came back with a Patreon structure for like Tenacious Turtle Tussle and the Sparkling Tuna Cup and GPO. But it's still like quite a toll on us, and I would love for us to bring back our own amateur tournaments as well. But even if we did, like, we don't really have a time slot for them anymore. We used to host them Friday nights. Friday nights used to be like SDO time, Friday nights for like 5 years, 4 years even, 5 years. 2018, 2017. Jesus, it's been so long. Every single Friday we would have a tournament for amateur players for many years. But now on Fridays we cast World Team League. You know, WTL is on Fridays like, every single week, and the reality is that right now, like, we get more viewers, we get more support for like the bigger events that we cast. So if we did bring it back, we'd have to squeeze it in somewhere else, and our schedule is pretty jam-packed. One day though, I know that we want to bring ours back as well. It'd be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people have been asking for it. We have a lot of regulars in our community that have been around since the beginning, and they're here mainly for our amateur events. Fun fact, through our diamond tournaments, that's how we got some pro players in the current scene. That's how we found out about Starduck. That's how we got Oreo as well. Roichi from America. Mixu. I don't know if you know the Finnish Zerg player Mixu. They all started in Duckling Open. They all started in our diamond tournaments years ago. And we saw them all slowly rise up from diamond to masters, eventually to GM, and eventually to the top of their region. That's why like these events are important. Just because like they facilitate a reason for players to improve, for players to compete, give them a goal to strive for, you know, to like every week. Sure, we can ladder, but now it's like, oh, you know what, I want to play this tournament and I want to get to the semis, I want to get to the finals, and by the time you're getting to the finals of these events, you're D1, you're on the cusp of breaking into masters, and then bam, you unlock like the masters tournaments, and then you can just keep on like working up the ladder of these tournaments, and eventually get to the point where you're GM. And yeah, we have a couple of success stories. Not everyone, of course. We've had hundreds of players play in our events. And of the hundreds, there's like an individual amount of them that made it to the pro level. But it's always really exciting whenever it happens. Like, it's really cool to see. Really cool to see. I think there's more. I know there's Oreo, there's Starduck, there's Mixu, Ruichi. Those are the ones that come to mind immediately. There are others though. I want to say some of the Latin Americans. I want to say like Arez and Saberlight. We saw them before they hit Masters 1. They didn't quite break into like fully GM, but M1 sort of level was Saberlight and Arez. Who else comes to mind? I had so many players. I'm tempted to check Wikipedia. Asher's another, true. Asher, he started off playing in our tournaments and now he's GM as well. He's 5k. Let's go. I content. Double checking. It looks like I have another game waiting for us. Okay, let's go. Also, I'm kind of shaking my head a little bit. Shaking my head a little bit at what's going on. Oh god, we're diving into game number 2 here of our next series, just reminiscing about the past a little bit, and I'll go into some of the history of SDO if we have a little bit of time. But here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, this is why I was shaking my head earlier. Oh my god, hold on, can I fix this? Can I totally can actually. Hold on. The censorship is real. What color are we working with? This will be okay. It's gonna stand out a little bit, but bam! Spawning in the top left-hand corner. Ooh, going for a 12 pool. We have our Australian Zerg player. It's the purple Zerg. It is HBT. Shaking my head. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have their opponents. An opponent that I'm not too familiar with. I probably should have asked them where they're from, to be honest. We have the green Zerg. It is ILikeTrains, who is currently leading this series 1-0. Winner of this series is going to be facing the winner of Roselia and Deja Vu or Tainted. But of course, they are a match that was immediately available, and yeah, may as well jump on it as soon as we can. HBT, if you're not familiar with the Australian scene, especially from years ago, pre-COVID era, I want to say 2017-ish, HBT, our purple Zerg, actually used to host events. Used to host, if you don't know what HBT stands for, Hot Big Tit. Shaking my head. Used to host weekly tournaments, regional weekly tournaments for the Australian scene. And I even had the luxury of meeting HBT at BrizCraft back in the day, back in 2019. So yeah, it's really cool to see HBT returning to the game. Well, I'm assuming this is the same HBT. Returning to the game once again, competing as well and being a part of this event. So much love, much love. As of course, with this 12 pool, we're flooding links across the map already here at the natural base as well. ILikeTrains did go for a much more standard hatch gas pool opener. Boys are being pulled, but not enough of them. A little bit of a misstep here. I'm liking the drone drilling, but these drones are gonna be slowly going down. One of them at least does fall. A second, a third, every single drone. This was a misstep from ILikeTrains. Maybe not familiar with how to hold against 12 pools, as every drone falls. And to be fair, this is a very committed 12 pool, and we even have gas being taken behind it. This is really unorthodox. The queen comes out, but it gets surrounded. The lings are coming out as well, and it looks like ILikeTrains will eventually hold. But the worker counts have been evened up, and this is gonna get wild. Again, HBT is still just flooding lings across the map. Off this 12 pool, eventually took the gas, is going into a Bailey nest. So, yeah, a roundabout way of like a roundabout variation of a 13-12 in a way. It's kind of odd. You don't really see it in this order, I should say. Because of that, the Ling, Speed, and Bailey is going to hit quite late. And ILikeTrains has a chance to hold. Did lose a lot of workers, to be fair, but still has a decent position here. Has the natural base, has queens, has a massive flood of Lings. Ling's Speed will be kicking eventually, but there is no Bailey nest. Oh, this is a late nest here from ILikeTrains. Oh boy. And now, I love this. HBT backs off, gets out of range of the Overlord, and morphs in as many Banelings as they can. Ay, ay, ay. Oh boy. And I don't know if ILikeTrains can defend against this. Even if we have a swell of Lings, Banelings do nullify them. And here we go. We do see HBT looking to bust up the ramp into the natural base. Queens are being brought down to the front lines, but the Banelings have arrived. Oh, there's one Baneling remaining here, and it looks like HBT has just an overwhelming amount of Lings. The natural has been broken. The hatchery will go down, and we're looking to have a series here. I mean, we're getting into the main base. There's no queen, no Lings either. The last remaining drones here for ILikeTrains are going to be focused down. Ugh. I'm loving the drone drilling. Twice now we've been seeing some nice drone drilling here with these mineral patches, and ILikeTrains technically defends, but has one drone left. Only one. It's a lonely drone. On 4 HP. Slowly regenning that health. We do see ILikeTrains going for a massive counterattack, but back at home we have Banelings on the way, and really that is all we need to defend. Oof. GG gets called, and we're going to the ace match. GG, well played. Oh, vámonos, papi, vámonos. A peculiar weighted 12 pool, but it got the job done. It got the job done nonetheless. HBT with a a nice execution of that cheese, staying on a very low drone count. Meanwhile, ILikeTrains again, maybe just a little bit confused as to the timing of all of the aggression, as it was pretty offbeat. And with that, we are going all the way to the ace match. Oh boy. And interesting, I'm curious as to what the vetoes were, and I'm curious as to what game 1 was, because we're going to a very large map in the map pool. We're going to be going into altitude, and as a result, I feel like HBT is going to have a bit of a harder time here. Catching up in the chat. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of altitude. We have Australian Zerg player representing themselves. It's the purple Zerg. Oh my god. Looking to go for a 13-12. It is HBT. It is a 13-12. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of altitude, we have his opponent, or their opponents. We have the green Zerg player, I think from Australia. I think. Could be mistaken. We have the green Zerg. It is ILikeTrains. Just catching up with the chat a little bit. Talking about the scene, talking about the community. You love to see it. Love to see it. Nice. Both Australian gamers, by the way. ILikeTrains has been an IRL friend of mine for 12 years. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good to know. So is indeed the Australian Zerg player. Thank you. Thank you for confirmation. As we do have a much more standard 13-12 setup. Again, the game number 2 was really awkward and really unorthodox, because it was like a 12 pool into later gas, into a later Baneliness. This is going to hit a lot more harder, a lot more faster, a lot more well executed here by our purple Zerg player. As we're going to be looking to... Oh, there's the star. We're looking to throw down that Baneling nest. Now, the downside here is that we're on the largest map in the map pool. It is quite big. It's quite huge. So it takes very long to get across the map, and we have a lot of time to react. And here we go. The Overlord of ILikeTrains has spotted all these lings. We are aware of what's going on, and he can respond. Back at home, standard hatchgas pool opener. Because it's a 13-12, ideally, we give up the natural. We don't really want to fight too hard here. We don't want to pull the boys, but we'll see what ILikeTrains' reaction is going to be. Hasn't checked the natural, so doesn't know if it's a 12 pool or not. But is maybe recognizing the timing of these lings. As lings are on the way here for ILikeTrains. So far, going to be skirmishing here with the army. Unfortunately, no spine crawler either. We're going for a defensive alien nest, which is fine. But again, without spines, it's really difficult to defend against 13-12s. Oof. Boy. We're going to be relying on Queen Focus Fire. We're going to be relying on just trying to somehow target down these Banelings and minimize our losses. Here we go. The Banelings are making their way in. Up. The Queen falls, and the Banelings are finding their connections. A good chunk of those lings do go down. HBT looking to bust into the main base. What do we have in the main to defend? We have one Queen and a couple of drones. And the Banelings are getting into the middle line. We have a decent split, but... Ooh, 5 drones go down. The Queen as well, and it looks like we have broken the defenses. A couple of reinforcing lings are coming out for ILikeTrains. Is going to be able to hold on a little bit longer, but... Oh my god, HBT is even target firing the drones. ILikeTrains is down to 4 workers. And again, just maybe a little bit inexperienced when it comes to defending against 13-12s and what exactly is required of them. Alas, I do appreciate going for the Baneling nest like this, but we need some more safety before that. Whether it's bringing the Queens over to fully wall off the natural ram, getting some spine crawlers as well. Again, 13-12s are very all in, so all you have to do is defend your main base. You don't have to fight so hard to hold on to the natural. Again, losing the natural is fine, but the main not so much, and we already lost so many drones earlier. The Banelings, oh god. Ooh. Another juicy connection. And from here, honestly, HBT can drone. HBT can just drone, expand, take another base, go for a longer game if they really want to. Oh, but there it is. GG gets called as HBT takes game 3 and the series. GG, well played. Again, game 2 was really weird, but here in game 3, a much more straight up 13-12. Oh, and ILikeTrains just, having a hard time reacting and responding to it. Again, very unorthodox on altitude, but as we can see, if done well enough, it can succeed. And oh boy, HBT moves on to the next round. ILikeTrains gets knocked down to the lower bracket, where they're going to have to fight through a lot of players. A lot of players. Oh. Do they really like trains, though? The future fans need to know. As we have another series before us. So HBT has a little bit of time to themselves, so they can wait a little bit longer here. As we're jumping into this. And yeah, it looks like hold on. I'm just asking what I should call this person. Alright, cool. I have confirmation. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. Oh, as I found myself in a TVT. Okay. I was unaware. I'm unfamiliar with Tainted, but it is going to be their debut on the CranKy Ducklings. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. The bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder. It is Roselia. A Sea Duckling Open champion, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the American Terran player representing Clan NSH. It is Tainted. Or hashtag the real Joe Biden. Shaking my head. Oh boy, hold on. I gotta set up some aliases at this point. Set him up. But yeah, so I'm not really too familiar with Tainted, but Tainted was able to take down Deja Vu 2-1. So honestly, some pretty impressive stuff already, taking down another one of the opponents on the brackets, but is now up against Roselia. Again, I do kind of favor Roselia in this tournament just because I'm a little bit more familiar with them, and I do know that they have what it takes to win these diamond tournaments. So it's gonna be on everyone else. Who can bring down the Korean Terran? That's the question. Oh boy. We are here to find out. Already we have some Rax Expand setups here. Oh no, my apologies. We have Tainted going for a Rax Expand. We do have Roselia going for a double gas opener instead. So Roselia going to be a little bit more aggressive as a result. He's even going for an SCV scout. It does confirm the lack of second gas, but oh. Roselia is doing the correct thing by patrolling here on the low ground, delaying the CC. And even though we have a Rax Expand setup, Tainted instead goes for a factory and a delayed second gas geyser. Interesting. Now, obviously, when it comes to more amateur players, like, you know, builds may be a little bit less refined. I'm really curious, especially because this did look like a normal opener. I'm really curious if Tainted intentionally delayed the CC, hid their tech in the main base, killed the SCV first before revealing too much, if that was intentional, or if they had planned to go for this kind of opener to begin with. I'm really curious. I'm really curious. As we're going crazy. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. Oh my god, hold on. I'm just setting some things up here. Okay, so this is not too standard in TVT. We are rushing into Stim of all things. 2-1-1s have risen in popularity. Oh my god, 2-1-1s have risen in popularity over the past couple of weeks, or maybe over the past couple of months. Oh my god, as we go for a scan. But this is not that. We're going not for concussive shell. We're going for a Marauder first into Stim, which is fine. Marauder openers do exist in TVT. They're designed to, oh my god, they're designed to to kind of shut down some Reapers, and I mean, Proxy Marauder is more of a thing. I should clarify that. Proxy Marauders is more of a thing with concussive shell. But yeah, this is crazy. Tainted just having a bit of a different way of attack here. We do see the Hellion poking, prodding wherever they can. Oh, just chipping away at those Marines. Roselia going for a 1-1-1 opener. We have a medevac on the way. We're going to be going for a pretty aggressive tank drop. So Roselia is soon about to be in the face of Tainted. Meanwhile, Tainted is going into a 3-rack setup here with tank production, with Marauders, with Stim. Really interesting. So the reason why Stim isn't really prioritized here in TVT is because there are other things that have so much more value, like tanks and starports, and usually the racks is used to make add-ons initially at the start of the game. Just make add-ons and kind of set yourself up into, you know, a faster tech lap for the factory, or a faster tech lap for the starport for the add-on swap to go into Raven production. But yeah, Tainted is going for a completely different approach instead. we'll see how it works out, because Roselia is moving out with this double tank drop, looking to take control of the main base and lay siege upon the production. We have one tank on the low ground, which is nice, but the main base is looking exposed. Oh, Roselia is going on forward here and is within range of that Rax. And is actually taking control of the ramp as well. Tainted forced to go the long way around here to try to get in range. Does siege up the tank. But alas, the medevac does still provide high ground vision. We do see Roselia going for a doom drop into the natural base. Instead, the Marauders are here. The boys are being pulled. Can we focus down the tanks? And it looks like we, just barely will not. Hot pick up there by Roselia. One tank will go down, but the Raven has arrived. Auto turret gets thrown down as well. The tank survives just barely on 4 HP. And this is going to be a game-ending move here. Roselia has broken on through. Second tank being rallied across the map. The natural is under threat. And alas, unfortunately, Tainted wasn't able to recognize what was happening until it was too late. Wasn't able to position in time either. Again, Tainted has Stim, but Stim just isn't the most useful upgrade in this position. Like, we don't have any medevacs either, so every Stim hurts Tainted more than it helps. Boys are being pulled to repair, but alas, the repair is not good enough to out DPS these tanks. Out heal these tanks even. As we see Roselia overextending quite a bit here, does eventually take down the tank, and there we go. GG gets called. Roselia takes game number 1. GG. A relatively crisp build from Roselia, going for that double tank drop opening. Tainted having his own kind of approach to the TVT matchup, which I do appreciate. I kind of loved the initial Marauders, because we saw that it wasn't taking a lot of hits for them to focus down the tanks. Unfortunately, Roselia had a medevac there and was microing, was picking up those tanks, and as a result, trading quite well. Solid game 1 there. And we'll see where we kind of go on from here. In the chat. Is it the real Joe Biden? It is, Pappy, it is. Oh, how'd you know? So we're going to be getting ready for game number 2. I wonder what the vetoes were, as game 2 is going to be taking place on Gresvan. Oh boy. A bit of a larger map in comparison. Larger, a little bit more open. Some of these bases are looking a little bit more exposed. A lot of room in the main base as well to take advantage of. Well, as the players need a moment here to prepare themselves to get ready. And yeah, I'm honestly really impressed here by Tainted. If you're curious as to the leagues of these players, of course, Roselia is a Diamond player. Tainted is a Platinum 1 player. Interesting. Yeah, honestly, really impressive play. Like, I was really impressed with their ability to pull workers, not just to defend, but also pull workers to repair those tanks as well. But is it going to be enough to overcome Green Terran, the other Terran player, the TVT? It's Imba back. TVT unwinnable. Oh god, who's it gonna be? So we're loading on in. You can hear the beeps. Game 2 is upon us. Oh, they're both featuring Nova. I just realized. Both of their banners, but here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gresvan. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder and all of those weebs out there in the world. It is Roselia. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresvan, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran representing Clan NSH. It is Tainted. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. As great minds think alike, as both players send out some SCVs, and we have proxy 2-Raxes from both ends. Oh, let's go, Poppy. Let's go. I love it whenever this happens. So this is about to get wild. Yeah, these two players, I love that they're just somehow on the same wavelength. These Terran players, you know, they know what's up. So what's about to happen? Well, one, they're... Oh, no! No gas! Uh-oh. Oh, Poppy! This should be Proxy Reaper versus Proxy Reaper. That is the standard thing to do. And, Tainted has a piece of the puzzle. He kind of knows the build, but it's Proxy Marine, and that is not a thing in TVT. The Reapers are superior. They have more control. They have more micro. They have longevity. They hit harder. They hit faster. Going for Marines like this is a bold move by Tainted. No gases were taken. This is going to get scouted here by Roselia. We're going for a CC. We're expanding behind it. Oh, I think yeah, we'll see how this goes. So Roselia should be able to kill every single SCV. Roselia should be able to kill every single worker here across the map. Likewise, these Marines are also going to be able to take control of the main base of Roselia as well. So this is going to get really chaotic. There we go. The boys are being pulled. Eventually, we're going to be forced to... Oh, as we're trying to surround these Marines. I thought we were going to try and evacuate. A lot of SCVs have fallen, but they are just getting the hell out of here. And we're going to be trading bases. This is how this proxy should work. So Roselia gives up the main. We should also be giving up the main base here for Tainted, and that's exactly what he does. We should be lifting up the CCs, and we should be trading places. We need to try to take defensive positions here nearer and closer to the production. The problem is this. Reapers can chase down SCVs. Marines can't. Marines are far slower, especially vanilla Marines, and every single SCV is going to be going down, and this is the power of the Proxy Reaper and what the Proxy Marine lacks a little bit. We can see him trying to take control of the main base and throwing down a CC. Ambitious moves here. Oh, by Tainted. Meanwhile, Roselia is going to be taking the center base instead, and Roselia has 10 workers to the 2 SCVs of Tainted. Deeper is going to be going down. And yeah, we're finding ourselves in a really weird position where, again, Tainted is still on the ropes. He could try and hunt down this base, but if he does, then he exposes everything else to the Reapers. Reapers are trying to hunt down that CC. They do find one here in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, they have come across the proxy as well. There we go. The Raxes are going to be lifted and going to be floated the hell out of here. Meanwhile, it looks like Tainted is taking a defensive position here on top of the ramp. We have a bunker. We have Marines. Looks like we should be looking to transition out of this. Oh, but there is a way into the main base. Oh, not like this, Poppy, not like this. We can skirt around the edge. We can avoid the bunker. We can get into the middle line and pick up what little is left of the economy. When SCV goes down, we have some KDA charges being thrown down as well. Oh, God. Yeah, and with that, not a single Reaper was killed. The micro, Poppy, the micro. Every Reaper makes it out. Only one SCV left here for Tainted. And with our superior economy, Roselia can get into a CC, a factory, a starport. Roselia can rebuild. Meanwhile, Tainted is looking for the base. Tainted is unaware, does have a Marine out of the map, scouring the map right now, looking for where Roselia has gone. Oh boy. And eventually, we'll be able to come across this. It looks like is rallied to scout this center base, at least. At some point. we're getting there, Papi. We're getting there. We're getting there, hopefully. I mean, even if it does get scouted, we can't really do anything about it. Like, we can't move out across the map with these Marines. Oh, no! This is not a fight we want to take, though, in Roselia. We'll be losing one Reaper. Oof. But again, if these Marines ever try to move out, then they will be kited to death. They'll be grenaded to death as well by these Reapers. There we go. Factory on the way. We have a tech lab to get into tank production, I imagine, or even cyclones. Pick your poison. Should be tanks, though. There it is. First tank is on the way. Should be getting a starport soon as well. We're kind of restarting in a way. The second base is about to be taken. Tainted. So we kind of know Roselia's win condition. What can Tainted do from here? Tainted does have like a lot of potential with this army. Is finally taking those gases, but GG gets called, and Roselia will take the series 2-0. Ooh. GG. Yeah, it's just a really difficult position to come back from. Again, I appreciate that both players went for proxies, but alas, proxy Marines are not quite as potent in this situation as proxy Reapers, as we kind of saw, GG, well played. Roselia advances on to face his next opponent, which is going to be HBT. We casted HBT earlier, and as far as I'm aware, HBT is apparently a very cheesy player. Game 2, HBT went for a 12 pool. Game 3, 13-12. So I expect a lot of cheese. I expect a lot of cheddar, but we'll see. We'll see. We will find out. Catching up in the chat. What happens if both are going for 3x proxy? Is it insta draw? So Fedor, if you're interested in what happens if both players did proxy Reaper each other, they trade bases, kind of like what we saw, but it will be a more even scenario, and it does come down to heavy micro battles and positional play. When it comes to taking control of Rams, for example, and your positioning and your SimCity, it can get really, really intense and really chaotic. Again, a similar situation, but the difference, of course, is that with those Reapers, it's a little bit difficult. We should be on a more even worker count overall. Alas, because of the proxy Marine, we saw that that our Blue Terran Tainted did struggle a little bit more in keeping his economy alive. Oh. And evacuating his SCVs, I should say. But that does happen in pro play. It's happened maybe 3 times over the past... not 3, maybe 2 times over the past month. I think we saw it in Clem versus Beyond. Yes, Clem versus Beyond, the grand finals of ESL Americas. Maybe 2 weeks ago, we casted this same situation, but they proxy reaped each other, and it was on Dragon Scales. It was on Dragon Scales, and Clem took the series because Clem took a center base. He threw down. Oh, sorry. Beyond took the center base on Dragon Scales. He threw down his Raxes, and he was pumping out Marines, and he was taking a defensive position on top of the ramp, and Clem came in from 2 angles, from the front and from behind, got a surround on the army of Beyond. It was really impressive. It was really sick, and eventually Clem beat Beyond, and he was that week's ESL Americas champion, which is crazy because Beyond's signature units is the Reaper, and for him to lose in the Proxy Reaper versus Proxy Reaper was really impressive. Clem was on fire that week, on fire. Really nice stuff, really nice stuff. If you want to tune into the VOD, it's available on our Twitch and on our YouTube. The VODs are out there for that stuff. we are getting ready for our next match. Yeah. I can see in the chat, shaking my head. But alas, the players are just conducting their vetoes. As they get ready for our next series. It is going to be a best of 3. It is going to be the upper bracket finals. We have finally arrived. And we also have to say goodbye to a couple of our players as well. As we quickly just check that bracket, it looks like players are being eliminated from the lower bracket. Erebus did just 2-0 Deja Vu and moves on to the next round. Likewise, it looks like Ennis was unable to stick around and Tainted got a walkover. So Tainted is waiting for the winner of ILikeTrains versus Erebus, a ZVZ. So a ZVZ into a Terran that is Tainted. Meanwhile, of course, we're focusing on the upper portion of the bracket, HBT up against Roselia. I'm curious to see what kind of cheese HBT has available in the ZVT matchup, because 12 pools are a thing in ZVT. 13-12s not so much. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm also curious if Roselia is aware of how HBT plays. I did see Roselia in the chat earlier. Again, Roselia, good contributor and supporter of the channel. Much love. Was watching earlier, so maybe was even tuning into some HBT action. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I hope everyone in the chat has been enjoying themselves. Yo, I didn't even get to talk about it. I love the logo. Oh, it looks so good. It makes me hungry, Poppy. It makes me hungry. As I quickly switch our scenes over. Maybe you can see it a little bit better here, but towards the bottom left. The rice cup. It's not just the rice cup. There's an egg in there as well. The winner of this tournament does get to eat tonight. And I'm jealous. I'm celosa. I would love to eat rice with an egg. With some soy sauce on it as well. Oh my god. So good. The weebs unite for Roselia. True. Not like this. But yeah, I love the logo for this tournament. The cup is a little bit upset. I wonder if it's upset because it's not eaten. Like the cup is full and it needs to be emptied. Oh, it's frustrated. or it doesn't want to be eaten. You know, he's like, stay away. He's like, get away from me. Don't eat me, Papi. Don't eat me. Oh. So yeah, I'm not too sure how what the cup thinks, but it's very cute. It's a very cute cup. It's beautiful. I like the idea of the champion of this getting like a trophy, and the trophy is a cup and it's full of rice and eggs. Oh. It'd be amazing. As it looks like the vetoes are done, the lobby has been made, and we are getting ready to jump into this GLHF. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. Apparently Deja Vu was second last tournament. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. So a big win from Erebus. Deja Vu was last week's or last edition's finalist apparently, and has already been taken out. Aye. As we are getting into our next game and our next series, I should say, is spawning. Oh, let's quickly just fix this up. There we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder. It is Roselia. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. Going for the 13-12 because it doesn't matter the matchup. HBT has no fear. We have the purple Zerg player, the Australian Zerg. It is HBT. I should set up an alias for that. I should. Oh my god, and Roselia is doing his best Bjorn impression. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. It looks like a 2-Rax opener. Yep. So, if you've been tuning into the CranKy Ducklings, we've been casting a lot of Bjorn recently, and every single TVZ, Bjorn has been going for 2-Rax openers. It isn't cheese, it isn't hyper aggression, it's just his way of opening up. He makes at least 3 Reapers, and behind it he throws down a CC, or he has different variations. He can go for a 3rd Rax in the main, or even a 1 base 4 Rax all in, just mass Reaper. So this is a really scary opener and really aggressive opener as well. Can be macro oriented depending on what Roselia wants to go into from here. Regardless, because of this 2-Rax opener, we have a full wall already at the natural. Meanwhile, HBT is in fact committing to the 13-12. Things are rushing across. I love that the chat is catching up. It might be upset about the egg. Oh, true. And there we go. We have a bunker being thrown down. It looks like Roselia has recognized what is going on. The Lings have arrived. The bunker will not finish, but the wall is the wall, and the Reapers are behind it. Roselia was just about to expand, by the way. We have the minerals for it, but now that we've recognized that something is wrong, we're transitioning into a 1 base 4 Rax all in. This is what I was talking about earlier. Like, Bjorn does this as well. He has different variations of the 2-Rax opener. He can go for a CC, a 3rd Rax, or a 4th Rax. And Roselia is transitioning into a more of an all-in. But here we go. Link speed does finish up in time. It looks like one of the Reapers is going to be going down. The wall is a wall. But both Reapers will fall. Bailey Nest is done, but we have been bleeding out a lot of Lings already. Meanwhile, that is a kill, not a cancel on the bunker. And we're going for a 4 Rax, but we're also going for a CC as well. We're going for an adult, man. We're crazy, Poppy. I think Roselia is being a little bit too greedy. We have 1 unit to defend. We have 1 Reaper. Again, instead of making more Marines, we have prioritized the reactor instead. Oh, God. And that Marine is rallied onto the wrong side of the Rax. It goes down immediately. Roselia is in a lot of trouble. But we don't have. Do we have enough Links to break on through? That's the question. Can we get on top of these units and kill everything? The Bailings, they do crash into the. They crash into the depot, but the wall is a wall behind this. Bunker goes down, but the other bunker finishes. With the completion of this bunker, it looks like Roselia has held. I was worried that HBT would break this position before the bunker finished building, but it has finished in the end, and with that, Roselia walls off with the depot. The production is up and running. Marines are on the way. CC is about to finish up as well. HBT, I feel like they have to try to transition, but it's so difficult to because of the low worker count. We were all in to begin with. Not like this. As we're just going to be banking up Lings here. Maybe HBT is hoping, is praying even that that Roselia moves out. If Roselia does move out across the map, then HBT can try to go for a mass around and try to clean up the army. There is a world where maybe Roselia overextends. But we'll see if that's the case. As behind this, HBT throws down a natural. Still hasn't droned, is still making nothing but Lings. Oh boy. Yeah, we're not going to get drones. It's not happening. We're just going to be using this base for larva. We do have the Banelings being morphed in as well. We're going to be going for a second push. We do have enough Banelings to bring down the bunker, but there are now so many Marines. Again, this is 4 Rax production. We have so many Marines. It does go for a scan, does get eyes on the natural base. Is aware of the transition. Reaper moves out to scout. We're trying, Papi, we're trying. We do have a pretty comparable army supply, but again, a lot of these banelings are going to be used up on that wall. And here we go, this has been spotted. The Marines are moving out. Uh-oh. Here we go, and now the banelings push on through. They're going to be able to get on top of the bunker, but can they get on top of the Marines? Up! Oh, the splits are not quite there. We're splitting towards the end, and it looks like we have too much man with gun. We have enough left over. Oh, we're going to have to rebuild that bunker, and we will. And it looks like Roselia has held the second wave, and that may just be it. That was pretty close. A lot of Marines just went down. 18 Marines. But the wall is still solid. And we're still not joining. We're making a lair? What's the lair for? What are we doing with this? We don't have the economy for a spire. We could maybe use this for dropper lords. We can morph in some dropper lords once we do have a lair. We're droning. Let's go, Fabi. We're going to be going for a longer game. HBT has recognized that they cannot end the game with this, with what we have. Forced to drone, but at this point, Roselia has just had a superior economy for so long. Stim is done. No combat shields yet, but at a certain point, if Roselia scans the natural, and if Roselia sees drones here, we can just go across the map. There's no stopping us. Meanwhile, the lair is done. So we have access to bailing speed, I guess, if we really want to. But here we go. The Marines are moving out across the map. The Lings are being cleaned up as well as we speak. Here we go. Bearing in mind that Roselia does have to be very careful with his stims, as there is no medevac. So every stim will slowly kill him. You have banelings here on top of the ramp. HBT trying to muster up a defense. Roselia has 35 Marines. That's a lot of Marines. How good are the splits, though? How good are the splits? Up, up. Oh, the target fire. 1, 2, 3. Off of creep. Every baneling is going to go down, and not a single one will connect. With that, Roselia has broken through the natural. There's nothing left in the main. There's 1 queen and 16 lings on the way. We go for a scan. I love this Roselia, making sure that there are no banelings waiting for him on top of the ramp. And we can go, Pappy. We can we can push up the ramp, but banelings are being morphed in, but they only just started, and it looks like Roselia should be able to get on top of this as well. Oh, there we go. We stim in. Oh, 2 banelings will finish. The target fire. Up, up. There it is. The boys are pulled as well, but every baneling goes down, and it looks like even though we're a little bit overstimmed, we're quite heavily overstimmed, actually. We should be able to bring down the queen. Oh. Troll just a little bit too good. HBT fighting with everything they have. Till the last breath. Are we gonna make Roselia kill the... oh, yeah, we do buy time for the Lings. There we go. Let's go. The problem is that we've been macroing. You know, Roselia has been spending their money. We do have a pretty large bank, so Roselia hasn't been spending their money too efficiently, but efficiently enough. It's okay. GG gets called, and Roselia takes game number 1. GG. The wall's a good unit. The wall is pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, it's just unlucky, really unfortunate that HBT was going up against specifically a 2-Rax opener, a 2-Rax on the low ground, so the wall was already really robust. So a little bit less opportunities for HBT to really punish the natural base if there was one. I'm sure if HBT scouted and like there was no wall on the low ground and there was no natural even, then HBT would have the option to transition out and just start macroing faster, but oof. Yeah, there's a reason why 1312s aren't really common in ZVT. It's not really a thing. not really. But it was great to see. It was great to see that, you know, being tried out regardless. And I wonder what HBT has in store for us in game number 2. What kind of build, Bobby? What kind of build? I have to catch up in the chat. Not gonna lie, probably gonna go to the sushi train after this. Yo, sushi? Oh, I'm jealous, Papi. Oh, sushi sounds so good right now. Tempted, I'm tempted. And the cup is determined, it is. Cup is annoyed because it can't eat all the tasty food on its head. True, true. That could be it as well. The cup has all this food available, but I mean, it doesn't have hands. Like, how does it eat the food? How? Or it could be about the egg. I mean, technically, this is the rice cup. This is not the egg cup, right? What's the egg doing there? How did the egg get there? What's the story behind it? We're here to find out. Maybe Mr. Rice Bowl would be happy if he had a modified spoon with which to eat. Oh. Maybe. As we're going to be getting into game number 2, and game number 2 will be taking place on Dragon Scales. Vámonos. What diamond is Roselia? I believe diamond 1. Diamond 1. D1. Alright. So we find ourselves in game número 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have our South Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder and all the weebs out there in the chat. Ooh. It is Roselia. Oh, we're doing something a little bit different, because spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, this is not a 13-12. This is a 12 pool opener. We have the purple Zerg player. It is HBT. Vámonos. And for everyone in the chat, sushi is gross. You take that back. How dare you? How dare you? Oh. I'll eat sushi right now just to spite you. Just to spite you. I feel like gross is a strong term there. Strong term. Aye. But yeah, so this is a 12 pool opener. This is a lot more common in ZVT. I say common in ZVT. In comparison to 13-12s. 13-12s just isn't really a thing against Terran. But this is something different. We saw this earlier today against ILikeTrains. This is a 12 pool into, I think that was a 14 gas. This is the other HBT build. So we start off with the 12 pool, and with these links we're going to be able to wreak a little bit of havoc on the low ground, but once again we have the low ground racks here from Roselia. Upon the cheese that Roselia faced in game 1, we have a very safe opener. A little bit exposed because of the low ground wall. It is going to be a racks expand, but the bunker is on the way, and it should finish up in time for these links. Oh boy. Meanwhile, HBT is all in because we're going to be going for a later Bane Bust. Oh boy, as the Lings are trying to trade here, but oh, 2 Lings go down. The repair is good enough. The bunker holds. No, no! The Overlord! No, come back, Buffy, come back! Oh, it gets rallied into the natural, and the Overlord will go down. Oh, a little bit unfortunate there from HBT. That will be supply blocking HBT and slowing everything down. We do have link speed on the way. We haven't pulled out of gas. HBT is going to be going for another Bane Bust. For another, there we go, Baneling Nest. Oh boy. Let's go, puppy. Let's go. I see the uwus in the chat. Let's go, puppy. Let's go. So we are going for a later Bane bust. Oh boy. Could this work? It's possible. I mean, what do we have as a follow-up? We're going into multiple Raxes again. Interesting. So the reason why this is going to be a little bit difficult for Roselia is, imagine if instead of a second Rax, we had a factory with Hellions. Hellions would absolutely annihilate this. Hellions, they roast up Lings, they roast up Banelings, they would shut everything down, especially behind a wall. But because we're relying on Mass Marine, it does mean that technically HBT has a chance here, depending on how good these Baneling connections are, where he can maybe get on top of the Marines of Roselia. On top of that, we don't even have that many Marines. We have 7 Marines right now, as opposed to the 24 Lings of HBT. So we'll see if we have enough to bust through that first bunker and get us around on these Marines. Here we go. The Banelings, they roll on forward. The bunker does go down. We're going for the Marines, but every Baneling does get picked off. Lings, they go for the main base instead. We're going for the tech lab. We're going to try and deny Stim, but the boys are being pulled, and I don't think we have enough Lings. Okay, we'll see. They're actually going to surround the Marines. Every Marine goes down. The SCVs on their own don't really pose too much of a threat. HBT is dealing damage. And that Stim is not going to finish. Shout out to these 3 hero Lings. They were target firing that tech lab the entire time. So many SCVs are going down here. More boys are being pulled. The wall is being rebuilt. But this is game-ending damage. Ay. 27 SCVs go down. And you know what? We're not done. More Lings are coming across the map. Oh my god, are we going to get a kill? We do get a kill in the bunker. One Hellion comes out, but the Hellion is backed up against the wall. Does back off in the end. The Lings, they show up, but the wall was very quickly rebuilt. We need to calm down. We need to back off. We need to make more Banelings. We need to calm down, HBT. Calm down. HBT has a better economy, but Roselia has the better production. Can get into Hellion production as well. There we go. Second Hellion is now out. Oh boy. And looks like HBT is kind of transitioning. We have a natural base being taken, but we're still not droning. So this is still pretty close between both players. Still very close. Again, Roselia's economy is in the dumps right now, but we do have mules. Bear that in mind. Like, every mule does help. We have a second bunker. We have a third bunker behind this. It looks like Roselia has recognized that HBT is probably just going to keep Bane busting. Yo, but let's go. We're droning. We're making drones back at home. Let's go. Drones are on the way. Oh. And because of that, honestly, I wish that we didn't have more Lings on the way. I wish that HBT just focused on their economy. I'll be honest. I think if we just drone from this point, we can just overpower and overcome whatever economy that Roselia has. Like, again, Roselia's SCV count is still not healthy. Bear that in mind. But once again, HBT is prioritizing that lair. What is this lair for? We didn't get to see the lair last game. We didn't really get to see what the lair was for last game. But we see it this time. Let us find out. We have pulled out of gas entirely, but okay, no, there we go. We do pull back into gas. Is this for Aspire? Is this for Mutas? It would make the most sense, right? This should either be for Mutas, or if we want to be fancy, we could even get an Overlord in position out in the main base, because the main on Dragon Scales is pretty big. Like, we don't have vision here. We can go for a Ling Queen Nidus all in. I think honestly that would be up HBT's aisle. Like, that sounds very HBT. With that, we can avoid all these bunkers. We can take control of the main base, camp the production as well. Don't push into the natural and drone behind it. Instead, what are we doing? We're going for Overlord speed? Dropper Lords? Is that Is that the plan here? I mean, you do need a lair to make Dropper Lords, to be fair. So that would make sense if we want to... I mean, that's another way to bypass the wall, right? So here we go. The Overseer is dipping into the main base. Just getting confirmation that we still don't have stim. We're still lacking add-ons. Like, Roselia is still struggling. Is still limping along, to be honest. Still has not fully recovered. Looks like Overlords are being sent out to look for ninja bases. Do you have a Hellion drop across the map? Oh! Oof. And again, these Hellions are trading pretty well, but they do take a couple of hits. Meanwhile, looks like, yeah, I guess the lair was only for the Overseer just to scout. Which is a pretty big investment, not gonna lie. Don't know if we have the economy to afford a lair this quickly if we're just using it to scout, but you know what? HBT, you do you. It's all good. Oh, meanwhile, one of the Hellions did get picked off. We're prioritizing gases. This should be Spire, right? Like, there's no reason to take all these gases unless we're going into Spire play, or well, there are options. We can go for a Spire, we can go for a Hydroden, we can go for an Infestation Pit for Swarm Hosts. Like, there are different options. We can go for like a 2-base Roach Roll in. I'm speculating because we still haven't seen any tech yet. That's the thing. And I'm hoping that HBT has a plan because, again, otherwise this is kind of wasted resources. And in a really low eco game like this, like, every mineral and every gas counts. Like, every piece of resource counts here. And there it is. It's a Spire. Okay. Mutas. I like it. I feel like we could have gone for the Spire earlier. You can see we have a lot of gas banked up. So this could have been a little bit faster, but that's okay. We're here anyway. And it's unfortunate that the Spire is so late because I feel like we could be making mutas right now, and mutas would have such a great time abusing the mineral lines here just because stim isn't done. You know, like slow Marines, they're gonna have a hard time keeping up with mutas. But in a couple of seconds, stim will finish up and Roselia will have a better answer to them. Oh boy, here we go. Meanwhile, Roselia is moving out, and this is now where I worry about HBT. Because this entire time, Roselia has been pumping out Marines. Stim is still a ways off, so this isn't going to be the most potent attack, but at the same time, the reality is that HBT doesn't have a lot to defend. This third base, I believe, is going to be going down. Hellions are even being morphed into Hellbats as we speak. This third base is under threat, and it will be going down. A Queen as well, unfortunately, on the wrong end of the tracks is gonna be targeted down as well. But it's okay because we're banking up on Ling Bane. We do have an army that can fight this, especially without Stim, but Stim did just finish, and we're going for a massive counterattack. Oh my god. Here we go. Is he looking? Is he looking? Is he looking? Here we go! Up! He's not looking! The Banelings, they crash on in. They get insane connections on those Marines. Maybe the best connections they could have hoped for. But there's still so much left over as Roselia stims up the ramp into the natural. We have a Spine, we have 2 Queens. The Lings are racing back home. But with Hellbats, I don't think these things can do anything here. Roselia cleans up the Lings and the Queens. The power of Hellbats. GG. WTF, that's a good unit. I mean, Hellbats, they like Lings, Papi. They love them. GG gets called as Roselia takes the series 2-0. But that was a close one. That was a close game too. I can see a world where if we had just a couple more Banelings, or if we didn't go for the Ling counterattack, if we fought with Ling Bane instead of pure Ling and then, sorry, pure Bane and then pure Ling, if we fought together, HBT could have taken that fight. Could have taken that fight. Oh, it was a close one. Regardless, congratulations, Roselia moves on to the grand finals and HBT gets knocked down to the lowers. The lower finals instead. GG, well played. So congratulations to Roselia as he does advance on to the grand finals. Shout out to HBT though, because honestly, that second game was pretty damn close, and if we had just some minute changes here and there, some when it comes to the details, maybe when it comes to even some prioritization of some of the resources that were being gathered and some of the tech as well, we could have definitely seen a different game. So yeah, really well done. I do think that HB, like, of course, when it comes to these amateur players, all players have room to grow, but I feel like HBT maybe has to work on the transition specifically after the all-in. Like, I feel like the all-ins are quite solid in and of itself, in them of themselves, but yeah, the transition period after that, I think, is what needs a little bit of work. Oh. GG, well played. Oh boy, and now we are going to be waiting for a little bit here. Oh. As it looks like Trains and Tainted are out of game, and oh my god, we have our next series. All right. It looks like we have our next series. It looks like HBT is going to be moving on to face ILikeTrains. It's a rematch. Oh my god. It's an upper bracket rematch. Let's go. I'm catching up in the chat. Drop Alert should be more popular. They should be more popular. Yeah. Yeah, I like Drop Alerts have so much potential in the game, and whenever we see them, it's always really exciting. It's always really exciting whenever we do. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. .5 seconds later, the Banelings would have destroyed the entire army. Yeah. HBT's in the chat. I have not played this game in like 5 years. Please understand, friends. Less than 3, Poppy. Less than 3. Oh, they're both in the chat. Roselia, I thought I was going to lose. It was a close game. It was a close game. Ay. Close game, Poppy. Close game. GG. Well played. Well played. We may even get a rematch later on. We'll see. Again, Roselia is waiting in the upper bracket finals, and HBT already has their next opponent waiting for them. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. So this is going to be ZVZ, our final ZVZ of the night, of the day. Of this tournament, I should say. We have another cast after this. We are casting World Team League after this, so oh boy, plenty more StarCraft to come. Plenty more. I'll reverse this. There we go. So yeah, the players are just going to be conducting their vetoes, and then we'll see where this goes. Now, something that I'm a little bit concerned about is that HBT, so far against every matchup, against every player, has 2 builds, and that's fine for laddering. That's fine, but I'm concerned because ILikeTrains has experience now, has experience in a series against HBT, and now maybe has a better idea and a better understanding of these builds and what he is maybe lacking and what he can do a little bit better. So because of that, I'm concerned if HBT cannot mix things up. I do think that if we 13-12 again, like there's probably a good chance that HBT can still take games and still overcome Trains. But I would also like to believe that Trains over the course of this tournament has been able to get a little bit of a better read on HBT and maybe a bit of a better understanding, and as a result, close the series. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. That's what I'm hoping. we go. Here we go. So yeah, the players just need a little bit of time here to get their veto sorted before we jump into this. Oh, and it does also mean that Roselia has a little bit of time to themselves to rest, recuperate, recover, and get ready for their next TVZ. I guess the advantage here for Roselia is that they know that it's going to be a Zerg player. Regardless of who it is, it's going to be a Zerg. Oh boy. Catching up in the chat. All my money is on the hot big tit. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. Oh. But yeah, as we do wait for the players, when is our World Team League broadcast? Let's check our calendar. How much time do I have? WTL is going to be this evening, and in 3 hours and 40 minutes, we're going to be live once again with World Team League. And I need to get my predictions in, actually. Oh boy. I have forgotten. Trains is like, oh, I blame Light for me losing because I won when no one was watching. Oh, smooch, papi, smooch. But I do have to get my predictions in later. Or WTL. Players have just finished up their vetoes, and we should be getting into our next game soon. So good, so good. What do I want? I believe in the 1-1. I believe in the 1-1. It looks like game 1 is going to be on Royal Blood. For those wondering what I'm doing, we actually have a prediction game for World Team League where, you know, our community kind of comes together and we all kind of predict on who which players are going to win which games and which teams will win which series. And yeah, we get our predictions in before our broadcast, and we aggregate it, and we have like a score, we have a ranking as well. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. As the players are ready, and we are going to be diving into this. So we're just bantering a little bit. Never trust a Zerg player. True, true. Here we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Royal Blood, we have Australian Zerg player representing the CranKykers. It is ILikeTrains. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, going for the 12 pool opener, we have our Australian Zerg player, our purple Zerg. It is HBT. Let's go. We are going to be going for the same builds. The 12 pool opener into a later gas is what I imagine we're going to be seeing. Oh, but ILikeTrains is mixing things up as well, going for a gas pool opener. Let's go. I believe that was a 17 gas and a 16 pool, if I'm not mistaken. I love this, to be honest. This is going to be really interesting. So with this opener, ILikeTrains is going to have faster link speed than HBT, is going to have faster banelings than HBT, and is going to have a better economy. The only thing that HBT will have over ILikeTrains is a higher link count. But if we pull boys, and if we use drones and queens to help defend, then ILikeTrains should have a wonderful time defending against this. Here we go. Lings already racing across the map. They are spotted and confirmed by the Overlord of ILikeTrains. And with that, we have the larva. 4 lings are on the way for now. We should be seeing 6. There we go. 6 lings are on the way. The queen, the natural base, is going to be under threat, but we should have enough lings out. And again, we can pull workers here to defend and hold on to the natural. So we select the workers. We're going to be dipping on forward here with our lings. We have to be careful not to commit. Again, HBT has a higher link count, so we have to be very careful with our dance. HBT has 6 more links coming across the map, and we're doing a great job at buying some time here. But again, ILikeTrains, he needs to just keep on pumping lings. The hatchery is taking a bit of a beating. More lings are about to show up. Hatchery has completed. We need the queen. We have it. We need it. Come, puppy, come. It's not going to be enough. The natural base will go down. Again, ILikeTrains had the tools. We just had to bring the queen as soon as it finished, pull some workers, and with the power of the drones and the lings and the queen, we can defend the natural. But alas, ILikeTrains is maybe not feeling too confident, maybe a little bit afraid, and maybe just concerned that at any moment link speed could kick in. At any moment it could be a 13-12 opener, for example. So yeah, ILikeTrains taking some heavy losses here. Behind this, the Baneling Nest is a little bit delayed, but it's on the way regardless. And ILikeTrains can go for a massive counterattack, but before that happens, the lings are here for HBT. The queens are coming into play as well. Oh boy, again, we should have enough to hold on. HBT, no fear. Still has a lot of lings, but that does kind of get dealt with the baneling count. From here, ILikeTrains should be feeling confident to keep droning and retake his natural, but no, he's making more links behind this. He's going for his own all-in. HBT taking a defensive position back at home. We have a spine crawler on the way. Queen as well. The SimCity is looking quite good as HBT races back home. Baneling Nest is still on the way. We're going to be getting into some Ling Bane battles. Oh boy. I'm loving the Evo chamber as well. This is going to be reducing surface area on that spine crawler. It's going to be that much more difficult to bust down. There we go. Banelings are on the way. It looks like ILikeTrains took a little bit too long to counterattack. He's finally here, but at this point, now he has to deal with Banelings, and this can go either way. Oh god. Up! The Banelings do detonate. We still have one more Baneling. No! We still have 2 more, and it looks like HBT has defended. The Banelings go down. HBT is up a base, is up in workers, or can soon be up in workers with drones on the way. ILikeTrains again forced himself all in and is gonna keep going. Is gonna be going for the second wave. Now, if HBT doesn't make more Banelings, he's in trouble. We only have 1 Baneling here to defend, which means ILikeTrains can still pull this off. 1 Baneling and slow lings, bear that in mind as well. But there we go, we have more Banelings being morphed in. HBT is aware. Up. Oh, we're trying to bait out those Banelings, but no, the move command is too good. Banelings are done, and yeah, this is not gonna get broken. We need to drone, Pop. We need to drone. There we go. Drones are on the way for both players. We're going to be macroing out of this, getting into a longer game. Oh. Oh god, no! Bobby! Oh, okay, there we go. Could have been disastrous, but ILikeTrains does avoid disaster. From here, again, we just have some splitting going on. We don't want to... Oh, no! We don't want to trade too poorly, but HBT does get a bit of a better trade overall. But that kind of gets evened out towards the end. From here, though, we're going to be droning. From here, we can go into roach production or even a spire with a lair behind it. We'll see kind of where our players decide to tank. Oh, getting a Bane for a Bane. As the Overlord's dipping back in, we're going to get eyes on the mass amount of gas that HBT has. Did take the second gas geyser in the main base. There is that lair that is going to be confirmed by ILikeTrains. This screams Muta play. Ooh. As those were the connections that ILikeTrains are looking for. He takes down almost the entire army. He busts into the main base. The Queen is exposed. The drones as well. Finally, Train is able to break in, but do we have enough Lings left over? We are taking control of the main base. We take down the Queen. But it looks like we can't do much more from there. A good moment, though, regardless, for ILikeTrains. Back at home, we're walling off. We got a Roach War, and we got +1 Carapace on the way. Interesting decision here, and we have a much later lair. So ILikeTrains is setting up for a Roach Ling push, which can work well, but HBT is taking all 4 gases. This is looking like a Spire. This is looking like Mutas. So ILikeTrains is on a timer. ILikeTrains has to find a way to do damage before the Mutas come out, because Mutas will gain map control and they will give ILikeTrains a really hard time moving out. There it is. There's that Spire. So I'm a little bit concerned. I do think ILikeTrains can hit a really strong timing with +1 Carapace. I just don't know if he is going to go for that, right? Like, is he going to start saturating his third base because he has a third on the way? For the time being, he has 12 roaches. And again, this can hit really hard. This can end the game. We have very little to defend here for HBT. And there we go. We are setting everything across the map. Let's go. Banelings are morphed in. Roaches on the way. And yeah, the roaches with the power of the Banelings and the Lings. This is an anti-timing. Oh! As Carapace is still not done. We want to be hitting with this. But regardless, I think this is still going to be a good fight for Trains. Here we go. We have 1 Baneling left. Oh! A good connection in the end. HBT was trying to pull back, but the Baneling does detonate. The Spine Crawler has been focused down, and now we have roaches against drones. ILikeTrains just before the Mutas pop out. The Spire is done. Mutas are on the way, but the window was about to close. Before it does, Trains slips on in. Oh, the boys are being pulled. The Lings are rallying in. The Queens as well. But this is game-ending damage. Oof. Eventually, all these roaches will go down. Eventually. But at the cost of how many drones? Lings are flooding across the map as well. We're on a little bit of an A move, so because of that, they're stuck on these buildings. But there we go. We do pull them into the main... there we go. We do pull them into the main base. And ILikeTrains also likes rice. Because, mate, he busts on in and there's no... Well, he goes for the Spire as well. He knows his win condition. We have a Hydra Den on the way behind this. We have our anti-air of choice. Spire does fall. And GG gets called. ILikeTrains fights back and takes game number 1. Ooh. That's a close one. I was beginning not to believe. After Trains' kind of blundered counterattack when HBT took such great trades defensively with his own banelings. I was really concerned that Trains was just going to be behind. He was just going to fall behind, but at a certain point, he was able to break through and able to transition quite nicely as well into Roaches. Going for 2-base Spire is a strategy. It is, it is done even at the pro level, but it is really difficult to get away with because you are so vulnerable for so long. Typically, if a player tries to go 2-base Muta, they save their gas, of course, they preserve as much gas as possible, and they throw down like a spine wall. We had one spine crawler, but multiple spines to help defend, to help buy time until the mutas come out. Alas, HBT was cutting some corners there and was trying to get away with murder, essentially. And almost did, to be fair. Almost did get away with it. Mutas were on the way. But not fast enough. And Trains was able to shut that down before it became too much of a problem. Again, if Trains was a little bit more passive that game, then we could have had a different result. We would have had a different game entirely. So, GG. GG. Let's go. We are getting into this. Game number 2 is going to be taking place on Babylon. Like Taylor Swift once said, boys only like StarCraft if it's torture. What? Ay. Not like this, Bobby. Not like this. Train is rolling on. The train. There's no brakes on this train, Bobby. It's going. It doesn't stop. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And here we go. Game número 2. Will be taking place on Babylon. ILikeTrains, has he figured out his opponent? Are we going to see another gas pool opener? I would love to be honest. I would love to see another gas pool opener from our green Zerg, but is that what we're going to get? We'll see. As spawning. Oh, that's not correct. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is green, representing the Yikers clan. I shaking my head. It is ILikeTrains. Oh, and we're making drones because spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Australian Zerg player. They are purple. They are making drones. It's not a 12 pool. It's not a 13-12. It is HBT. Let me fix this. Un momento. I'm trying to find like a color that closely resembles what we're seeing here. Maybe this one? That's a little bit better. That's better. But we are going for a hatch gas pool opener. Standard play coming out from HBT. Meanwhile, ILikeTrains is going for a gas pool hatch instead. So we have a standard economic opener from HBT. We have an aggressive opener from ILikeTrains. Not all in by any means, but aggressive nonetheless. We spoke about this earlier at the start of game number 1. ILikeTrains with this faster gas will have faster link speed, will have a faster baneling nest as well, and can hit some pretty strong timings with that when his opponent doesn't have any of that. And it isn't all in because we have a hatchery, we can drone as well. Of course, the advantage of HBT is that he will have a higher drone count and he will have a better economy. So the onus is going to be on ILikeTrains to try to get some economic damage done or force an overreaction out of his opponent if possible. Oh, as this link speed is late. Look at our gas bank. Link speed has started at the same time, despite the fact that ILikeTrains had so much more gas to begin with. The Baleen Nest is late as well. So the opener was good, but the follow-up here, not the best execution of the gas first. He is going to be missing out on his advantage, to be honest. He is missing that window that he otherwise would have had. Meanwhile, ILikeTrains is banking up his links back at home. Oh, we do see Baleen Nest on the way here for HBT as well. So, because we missed our link speed timing and our Baleen Nest as well, like because these are slightly delayed, I do think that HBT is in a better position because he has a better drone count, he has queens to defend, he has a similarly timed Baleen Nest and link speed as well. As long as he morphs in the Baleens immediately, he should be okay. In the chat, I was about to say there's a concerning lack of train puns. I've been focusing on the games. But here we go. ILikeTrains is going for a link flood across the map, and there we go. Baleens are being morphed in defensively back at home, but they're going to be done in time though. As HBT is rushing back home, Baleens are being morphed in offensively. Can ILikeTrains deny these Baleens before they're done? Oh god, they're gonna finish. Oh, they finish just in time. The Lings of ILikeTrains get annihilated. And this is not the best start. We go for a full wall as well. Oh my god, the Sim City, papi. But ILikeTrains is not done. We're still flooding more Lings across the map, and we don't have any Banelings left. HBT, where are the Banelings? They're not here. They are not anywhere. The Banelings, they crash into the Queen of all things. Not the best connections, to be honest. I think we would have wanted to have held on to those Banelings instead. Oh, and HBT is holding. For now. Because we're not done. There's no brakes on these trains, Papi. We're going off-road. Going off the rails? There you go. That's what I was going for. We are not stopping, and even though HBT has that Baleen Nest, he hasn't been morphing in his Banelings defensively. Oh god! And without them, I don't know if we can really hold on. The Banelings, they're rushing on forward. They're going past the Queens as well. They're going for the Mineral Line. Up! No reaction. No reaction whatsoever. The Banelings, they find their connections. Almost every drone goes down. Oof. The economy of HBT is almost non-existent. He's trying to go into two-base muta from here with 7 drones. He's crazy. He's lost his mind, and he is going to be scattered. At the same time, 2 Banelings are morphed into the main base. Don't reveal them. These Lings, no! Oh, the Lings, they go. Oh, there we go. It was a bait. They go too close, but you know what? The Banelings, they finish up just in time. They find their connections. And ILikeTrains. He likes more than just trains. Where am I going with that? I don't know. I'll leave it ominous, okay? As the Lings get into the main base once again. Oh, we do see HBT has been able to recover economically, though, for the most part. It just goes to show how all in ILikeTrains needs to back off. He needs to calm down and morph in some more Banelings, to be honest. As we're still not droning, by the way, we're still completely all in. The Spire will finish, but we don't have enough gas to actually make any mutas. Do not have the gas for it. Oh god! Up! 3 Lings for a Baneling. I think a better trade for Train overall. The natural base is being evacuated. Ooh. So we trade Bane for Bane. No Banelings remaining here for HBT, which means this spine is not long for this world. It is going to go down, and ILikeTrains, I think he's done it. He has finally broken through. He may have lost the first series, but here in the second, he is getting out of control. Even Baneling's being morphed into the Mineral Line, and with this, HBT has nothing left. We have 1 muta. 1 muta was made. But the Banelings will finish! And they take everything else. Food time! GG, well played. ILikeTrains takes the series 2-0. GG. Ooh. God, that was stressful. Oh boy. HBT almost held on, was almost able to defend, but alas, was unable to. Does bow out from the tournament, and ILikeTrains moves on to the grand finals. But shout out to HBT, you know, was able to put on a good showing, able to put on a good performance, and hopefully they're able to enjoy their food, able to enjoy their rice, with an egg on top as well, with an egg. Let's go. In the chat, more like I like pains. Oh, it's their eyes. It's their eyes. GG, well played. Congratulations to ILikeTrains. He gets his revenge. He fights back and moves on to the grand finals. HBT will bow out, enjoy their lovely food. I'm jealous. I'm hungry myself. I am hungry myself. And I'm gonna have to double check. The finals, I believe, will be a best of 5, if I'm not mistaken. I will have to double check. All matches are best of 3 until the finals. There we go. There we go. So it is going to be a best of 5 grand finals with Roselia having a 1-0 advantage. Due to coming from the upper bracket. Cool. So let us set this up. We have finally made it here. Oh, it's been a long, grueling tournament. We've seen Zergs and Terrans rise and fall. We didn't see a Protoss player. I could be mistaken, but did we have 0 Protoss signups today? Aye. Not like this. They're all in Masters, Poppy. They're all in Masters. Oh. So mainly Zergs and Terrans today. Actually, did we cast a Protoss player earlier? Did we? No, we didn't. Okay. I was trying to remember. No, we casted a TVT to begin with. A TVT. Oh boy. So hopefully next time we get a little bit more Protoss representation. That would be a lot of fun. Would be amazing to see some more variety in these games. But regardless, we still have some amazing players before us. Let me just quickly fix this. There we go. Roselia does start with an advantage. But that doesn't mean it won't be impossible for ILikeTrains to come back in the finals. Let's go. Catching up in the chat. ILikeTrains. ILikeTrains. ILikeTrains is a fan in the chat. Shout out to Wood Melting. That's a tram, not a train. Shaking my head. Maybe he needs to spend more time in Twitch chat to become a real GM. True. It's all about the GMs in the Twitch chat. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He had some very nice micro throughout. He did. So some really good control out of HBT. I was really impressed as well with a lot of the Bane control, the Ling Bane control overall from HBT. There was a lot of finesse involved, a lot of finesse. And I do think that the Ling Bane control from HBT was even a little bit better than ILikeTrains. I think we saw a lot of that in game 1 as well, where we could see a couple of Lings trading for those Banelings here and there. Like, I do think that efficiency was on point when it comes to HBT, but you know, when it comes to morphing in those Banelings and actually having enough to defend, maybe not as much. Maybe not as much. No. But it's all good. It's all good. Well, hopefully, we can see HBT again next week. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. For the next edition. For the next edition of Rice Cup. Let's go. So yeah, for those who don't know, this tournament is a bi-weekly event, so every 2 weeks, as far as I can tell. Maybe Rise can correctly, but for the time being, every 2 weeks, every fortnight, we're going to have an edition of the Rice Cup, and it's open to anyone. As long as you're within the boundaries of bronze to diamond, you can compete, you can take part. There is I say bronze to diamond, specifically there is an MMR limit. I believe it's 4.2. It's 4.24. So if you've never been above that on NA, then you can take part in the event and you can participate as well. Oh. So yeah, it's a lot of good fun. You know, nothing too serious as well. You know, sometimes we can have like some backseating in the Twitch chat and stuff, and I know that can be a little bit intimidating, but overall I think we're all like nice spirited about this. You know, like at the end of the day, we're not here at the highest level of play, so we don't want to scrutinize people too much, and it's all about having fun, enjoying ourselves, and yeah, obviously still working to improve. Of course, I know a lot of these players are maybe more motivated to show up week after week or every other 2 weeks to look to beat themselves and get a better result. And yeah, it's cool to have like that motivating factor. Feels good, feels good. I think personally my favorite thing about these amateur events is that we're going to get regulars here, and my favorite thing is that we're going to be able to watch these players grow over time. You know, week after week we can see them improve, gain MMR, gain league, gain ranking, and yeah, see them kind of blossom and foster as players. It's always my favorite part about casting regular amateur events. You know, like I remember when Starduck was a Diamond 3 Zerg. Those are the days, Papi. Those are the days. And then they slowly get better over time, break into D2, break into D1, race switch into Protoss, and hit M3 immediately. Shaking my head, Starduck, shaking my head. So yeah, always good fun, always good fun. Catch you with the chat. I faced a Protoss in the first round. Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice, nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cast any Protoss. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. We didn't get to cast any of the Protoss, but hopefully next time. Hopefully next time. We can see some of them. Oh, I guess Deja Vu may have been Protoss. There we go. Yowie Loverboy 69. Hi. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. Yo, shout out to Kashim in the chat. Kashim, one of the OGs. One of the OGs when it comes to amateur tournaments. Kashim used to be the Kong of Sea Duckling Open back in the day, back in 2017. Kashim got like 4 or 5 second places before finally winning a tournament. I believe he won a Sea Duckling Open in the end. But yeah, way back in the day. Shout out to Kashim, of course. Kashim is a Polish Zerg player, but more known for being an admin. He is a big organizer of events over in the land of Poland, a big core community member, to be honest, and a very integral part of the Polish StarCraft scene. So hello, Kashim, hello. Also a big part of Wikipedia. Welcome. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good weekend. I was Masters in Wingalooty. Can I not play? Oh, not like this. I'm pretty sure that's fine. I'm pretty sure there's like a range. There's a range of time where you kind of exceeded a certain amount of MMR. It's all good, bud. It's all good. I'm sure Rise would iron out those things. Iron them out. Iron out the rules, I should say. Tis all good. As I guess the players need a little bit of time. I guess the players need a little bit of time to just get things sorted out and set up their vetoes. We're just chilling. We're just chilling, fuck. Just chilling. Aye. Oh boy. And I guess because we have a little bit of time to ourselves, and it is soon to be the grand finals, I'm running out of water. I'm going to be cutting to a short break. Nothing too long. And hopefully when we return, we have the grand finals ready for you. So stick around. You can go for now. You can go hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, drain your disruptors, and when you come back, we'll have the grand finals. See you soon. Huh. And again, for those wondering who may be tuning in for the first time and aren't too familiar with these players, Shelby, he is a pretty good Peruvian player. He's a streamer as well. He's streaming his POV.
Dios mío. Men, ¿qué me quiere pushar con 4 Belin, 3 mutas? ¡Corre, Forest! No lo dejen ir. ¡Ah! ¡No! ¡Oh! ¡Te pasaste de ver!
But he also looks after the convenience store when his parents aren't around. So he's currently competing, playing, and also looking after the store, and he needs to pause whenever there's a customer.
What I want to know is how far does he have to go? You know, like, is it like downstairs, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I think it's a flight of stairs. He has to get down a flight of stairs.
you're like a customer. You're like in the, waiting. You know, ding, and then you're. He's like straight up running down.
every now and then, it's like you hear him fall.
Waiting for like trip and fall. But I agree. He needs to like set up a camera like at the counter.
Yep.
Yeah, just like. And then he runs back. Does he like wait for the customer to leave, or is like after he does the money exchange, he just books it up?
For those wondering, I did wake up like 20 minutes before the broadcast, and then took 10 minutes to set up the stream, and then just went and I quickly grabbed some water to wake up.
Do I need to like Uber Eats you some breakfast?
Oh no, because then I would have to leave the cast and go get the food.
Your door's not that far, right? Like, listen, if
Yaku?
If Shelby can go attend his goddamn store while he plays the tournament, you can probably go pick up some food at your front door, while you're casting. It's totally fine, dude.
Oh god, fucking Shelby, man. I love him so much. I wish he was here. I as well. Ooh, can you finish? And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that duct tape. I apologize for cutting it short, but the players are ready. The finals are upon us, and we are here to crown our second Rice Cup champion. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Australian Zerg player representing the Yikers clan. It is ILikeTrains. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing not just the Louder clan, but all the weebs out there in the world. It is Roselia. Well, here we go. Roselia has been patiently waiting in the grand finals for quite some time. Waiting, looking over at the Zerg players scuffle amongst themselves, HBT and Trains. Oh, but now, finally, the finals are upon us. And as a reminder, Roselia will be starting with a 1-0 advantage because Roselia comes from the upper bracket. As a reminder, Trains did lose earlier in the tournament to HBT and was knocked down to the lower bracket and had to fight his way back up. And eventually was able to come out here in the grand finals. Oh boy, and I'm excited because I want to see a macro game. Look, it's been a long day of StarCraft, and in this tournament, we've been seeing a lot of cheese. Been seeing a lot of cheese, a lot of unorthodox play. Here for the finals, at least one game. Give me one macro. That's all I want, okay? Because I know that if HBT was here, we would have still kept seeing that cheese, all right? We would have all in that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Personally, I just want to see one macro game, okay? And we'll see if we get it, because Roselia opens up with a Rax expand like normal, but is going for a 3 Rax follow-up. This is a very aggressive, and this can do a lot of damage if it does go unscattered. So the way this works, if I'm assuming this is going to be a standard 3x follow-up, we'll see. The way this works is that this hits at around the 2-1-1 timing, which is around the 5-minute mark. I want to say a little bit later than the 2-1-1 timing. But the advantage is that we have more Marines. The disadvantage is that this should hit without medevacs. You know, it's a ground-based push where you send everything across the map. Every stim hurts that much more. There's no longevity. You can't pick up. You can't drop into the main. You can't escape either. You're very committed with your Marines. But because there's so many of them, if ILikeTrains doesn't respond well enough, then he could be in trouble. But you know what? We're not going to get a response because ILikeTrains is going for a Bane bust. We're cutting workers at 22. We're making nothing but Lings and nothing but Banelings. Oh, we do see the Reaper dipping into the main base. Does get eyes on the swell of Lings, but ILikeTrains is not going to be stopping. We're going to be sending everything across the map, and Roselia is going to have to try to defend. Who was I kidding? We're not getting a macro game. That's not happening. That's what. Baneling Nest is now done. Baneling should be being morphed in across the map. There we go. They're on the way. What do we have at home to defend? No stim. It's still on the way. It's still in production. We have a wall. We have a bunker. But Roselia is going to be in trouble. Roselia doesn't have that much to defend. Vanilla Marines, Papi. Vanilla Marines. And here we go. The Lings have arrived. The wall's on the wall. The wall is on the wall. But the Lings are getting here a little bit too soon. We need the Banelings. Oh, we're bleeding out a lot of Lings right now. And the Banelings aren't really coming into play. They waste the Banelings on the buildings. Oh, well, I think on an Enchi Bay. And Roselia defends. Oh, a really awkward execution of the Bane bust. The Banelings were not used quite well enough. Not even used on the bunker. And Roselia loses 5 SCVs. This is acceptable damage, acceptable losses. Meanwhile, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. We're sending everything across the map. We're going for another Bane bust. The difference being this time there will be stim. Stim is now done. Combat shields is on the way. The Marine count is getting higher and higher. It's going to be that much more difficult to pull off, but ILikeTrains. He really does like trains. He's going in again, Papi. He's going in again. Oh boy. Here we go. 1 till the mains go down. The bunker does fall, but there are so many Marines behind this. Without Banelings, these Lings are going to have a hard time dealing damage, and we can see that come into play here. Every single Ling goes down. A bloodbath in the natural base of Roselia. And now ILikeTrains starts droning, but at this point it's too late. Roselia should be looking to counterattack soon. To be fair, for all Roselia knows, there's a third wave, right? And there's a third wave that is imminent, and that may dissuade Roselia from moving out. But no, we are pushing out. We have stim and combat shields. We're going for our original 3 Rax push. Oh, and we're going all in. This is usually a bad thing to do against Zerg, not gonna lie. Typically, boys are not pooled against Zerg players, but You know, who am I to tell Roselia what to do? Roselia already has a lead in this series for a reason. We're just sending everything across the map. Overlord goes down. We have 2 Banelings to defend. We have saturated our natural, but we need Banelings right now. We need everything. Oh no. Here we go. The boys will connect. Will detonate with those SCVs. The Marines are going ham on everything else. There's 1 Baneling left, and now there are 0. And only man with gun survive. And that's all we need. As we don't waste our time at the natural, we go all the way into the main base. Boys are being pulled, but the stutter stepping is just too damn good. Everything goes down. GG gets called, and Roselia takes game number 2. GG. Catching up. Permaband. Kappa. We want more Shelby. I want more Shelby. See trains in the chat. My Bane's auto detonated on your wall first time. I don't know why. I think he A moved, and as a part of that wall, there was an SCV there, so it's possible that just like messed some things up. Regardless, GG, well played. We're gonna be getting into game number 3. Boy, ILikeTrains with a bit of a blundered execution of his Ling Bane bust initially, but now we're coming back. We're coming back here in game number 3. Oh boy. He is up against the wall. One more loss, and Train's run has ended. Roselia is 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. Meanwhile, ILikeTrains has to win every game moving forward. Let's go. You can hear the beeps. We're loading on in to Babylon. Let's go. I can't wait to order food after this. It's the rice cup. Like I'm being taunted by the cup with the rice and egg. I'm celoso. I'm jealous. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Clan Louder and all the weeaboos out there. Ooh, in the chat. We have the purple Terran, Roselia. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponents. We have the Australian Terran, Australian Green Zerg player representing all the yikers out there. It is ILikeTrains. He does like trains. They're so good. They're so efficient. They take you everywhere, anywhere you want to go. They even take you to the finals. But can they take you to a championship? That's the question. That's the question. Can they go the distance? Is the train all you really need? Or is the public transport in Australia just not good enough? We're here to find out. Hi. As we're going to be going for a hatch gas pool opener, standard play here, economic opener from ILikeTrains. But as we saw in the last game, at any moment, Trains can be willing to just turn up the aggression and go for something like a Bane bust. Oh boy. We'll keep an eye on that worker count. Meanwhile, Roselia is going to be going for a rack 6. Oh, I spoke too soon. I thought Roselia was going for a rack expand. But no, despite the SUV going to the low ground, we are going into a much faster 1 base setup here for the 3 racks. Aye. Okay, alright, let's go. You have my attention. So, an at-home 3 racks is crazy. Bunker is thrown down. This should not finish, by the way. Queens and Lings are on the way. This is a bold move. This is a bold move by Roselia. The drone is pulled, and yeah, We'll see if the bunker does finish. The Lings have arrived. The Reaper likewise has also arrived. The target fire. There we go. The SCV goes down and the bunker is cancelled. Again, not something that you can really pull off in a ZVT. Roselia, the disrespect. There we go. CC is thrown down. Getting into that 3 racks. Much faster. Very committed here from Roselia. Wants to be the aggressor. Meanwhile, we're doing it again. We're going for a Bane bust. Very fast Baneling Nest is hidden here behind the main base. Roselia needs to scout this, needs to figure out what is going on. But alas, for the time being, has no idea. Does slip into the natural and is going to be able to get into the main base. Oh, okay, get the scout. Ooh, it looks like he will. The Baneling Nest has been spotted. Immediately, we have a bunker, a second, third. Oh my god. All the bunkers are on the way. The depot as well. Roselia is aware of the Bane bust. And ILikeTrains drones! Let's go! ILikeTrains is forcing an overreaction and we're going to drone from here. I love it. We're playing with our reputation. We're playing with how the series has been progressing. ILikeTrains is macroing. We have a third hatchery on the way. Almost full saturation at the natural. Lair as well. I'm curious as to what the lair is for. I mean, the lair can be for to just go straight into baneling speed, but this is really fast. This is a 4-minute lair. We're taking a second gas. This feels like a Spire. Again, we shouldn't really be taking gases this early on unless it's for some kind of tech. Whether it's upgrades with Evo Chambers, or Roach Warren, Hydrodent, Spire, something. And because we're going to be relying on this lair, I imagine it's going to be Mutas. But we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, back at home, Roselia fully walls off. We have Stim on the way. The Marine count getting higher and higher. But it's going to be staying at home for a while. Again, we shouldn't be moving out without Stim. And Stim is a ways off. Meanwhile, back at home, we're going to be going for double Evo Chambers. And it looks like that lair is for baneling speed. A very fast baneling speed, unfortunately. What I mean by that is, it's a little bit unnecessary. You know, there's a reason why we typically don't get lairs this early on because, I mean, yeah. Unless we're going for an all-in, to be fair, which is possible. It's possible. 30cc's on the way. ILikeTrains comes in with an Overlord Scout, confirms the Marine count, and oh my god, that is a third and a 4th CC. Oh, we cancel! Oh my god! Oh, the mind games! The mind games, Papi. We show 2 CCs, we cancel them because we're going to be going for an all-in. But we don't even have the production to sustain this. There we go, 2 more. I feel like we should have canceled and immediately started additional Raxes. These Raxes are late because that Roselia still has a massive mineral bank. Doesn't really have the production to spend it. But here we go. The boys are being... The boys are being pulled. Marines are moving out. Thankfully, ILikeTrains had no intention of droning. And has been making links and banelings, and here we go. The banelings are rolling on forward. We do have Stim. The splits. Yo, the splits are looking pretty damn good. Banelings find some connections, but there are just too many Marines in the end. We're going to keep on pushing forward. Banelings are being morphed in, but they're too late. Roselia sees and Roselia knows. Roselia's going to be diving on top of this, and not a single baneling will finish. Oof. I say that. One does finish, but the target firing, the control is too damn good. Roselia busts into the natural base, and there is nothing at home to defend. Boys are falling left and right. Oh, the Marines are overstimmed. And with that overstim, ILikeTrains cleans it up. And Roselia pulled the boys, by the way. Roselia was Giga all in. There was no 3rd CC. Now a 3rd CC gets thrown down. But ILikeTrains has a lot of momentum, has the worker advantage, has 1-1 on the way. ILikeTrains is fighting back. Again, the problem with going for 3 Raxes like this is what we just saw. We don't have a lot of longevity with the army. Every stim hurts. There are no medevacs, and eventually the Lynx were able to overwhelm and overpower all those Marines. Now mutas are on the way. We're getting fully saturated on 3 bases. We have our 4 gas geysers. We have 1-1. And Roselia is up against the wall. Roselia is hurting. Doesn't have a good economy. 3rd CC is late. We're getting into tank production, which is not going to help against the mutas. Even though we scouted... Oh no, never mind. We did not scout the Spire, so we don't know. We don't know that mutas are on the way. If we did, we'd be seeing Widow Mines instead. And even turrets. Roselia's in the dark. And ILikeTrains doesn't have to push up the ramp. Like, staying on the low ground is good enough. We just have to harass with the mutas, take our bases, saturate, and make a Link-Bane army. There is a world where Roselia can out-trade ILikeTrains. Like, Marine Tank just is a more efficient army. It just is. Oh, and here we go. The Link-Bane is diving on forward. The Banelings are looking for those connections. Up! Oh, and we will find some, but not the most ideal, as the Banelings do get targeted down. At the same time, the mutas are still chilling here outside the main base. The main that is so exposed. But we haven't gone for it yet. There we go. The mutas are finally going in. Almost. We're almost going in. We need a little bit of time, Papi. We need a little bit of time. Medevacs have now arrived. We're going to be going for a double drop across the map. Maybe we were waiting for the drop to move out before ILikeTrains moves in. But these mutas have been chilling here for a while. And there's so much potential. There's so much damage that can be done. There we go. The mutas are finally going in as the double drop moves out. And that means there's going to be less at home to defend. A couple of Marines are making their way back into the main base, but SCVs are falling. Oof. 7 SCVs go down. The drop is forced to turn back around and go back home. Did I say 7? I meant to say 9. 9 SCVs. We head towards the natural base as well, but it looks like, oh, the Marines, they've rained down here on the natural. They're going to be able to clean up all these mutas. 6 mutas for 10 SCVs. Was that worth it in the end? I'm not too sure. Like, after killing the SCVs, I feel like we should have just gotten out of there with the mutas, but alas, they stuck around a little bit too long. And now Roselia is pushing out with an insane army. No upgrades. 0-0 with stim and combat shields. So not the best, not the highest quality army, but the numbers are here in favor of Roselia. And there is no creep. This moves out unscouted. The tanks siege up. This base is going to go down. There's no other way about it. ILikeTrains, is he going to give up the base or is he going to try and fight for it? That's the question. Oh, he's coming in from behind. He's setting up a surround. Yo, let's go. We can take a fight with the surround, and we're coming in from 2 angles. Oh, the Banelings, they find their connections. They get in. And it looks like, oh, ILikeTrains cleans everything up. The power of the surround, the power of those Banelings as well. They got such juicy connections. But there are still a lot of Marines left over. That was such a good fight. Such a good fight for ILikeTrains. Oh, we do have a fungal here on the Marines. A chain fungal as well. ILikeTrains loses a mineral line, but holds on to the base. That was a lot of drones dying. Does hold on. We did have our infestation pit. We have pathogen glands already researched. Link-Bane Infestor is the composition of choice. 3-3 on the way. Meanwhile, Roselia finally working on their first upgrade. Got +1 on the way. Let's go. There's going to be a period where we have a 3-3 for the Zerg and we have 1-0 from the Terran. Crazy. But Roselia still isn't out of this. Roselia still has the bigger army. Still has more army supply to work with and wants to finish off this base. Oh, hatchery is being targeted down as we speak, and it looks like it will go down to the triple drop. Now we pick up and go into the main base. ILikeTrains having a hard time keeping up. Oh. And we lose maybe one Marine in that exchange. Also, the hatchery survived. I can't believe it. 29 HP. It lived. In my brain, I saw the death animation. I legitimately saw it. What happened? I don't even know. What happens when you don't eat food all day? Oh. Oh, as we're playing with fire right now, we're able to target down some banelings, but not all. We're going to keep on pushing at the same time. We have a push here towards the bottom left-hand corner. We do have some fungal. We miss! The fungal misses. The second one does connect, though. We clean up the drop. But this hatchery, it may have survived 2 pushes, but it won't survive the 3rd. Oh. 3rd base goes down. Fungal does miss once again. Mutas are coming out, but mutas against Marines is not something you want to be seeing. With these mutas, though, we're going to eventually be able to shut down this drop. After all said and done, Roselia has a 4th CC on the way. +1 just finished up. So we have a 1-0 Terran army against 3-3 of ILikeTrains. So in a way, ILikeTrains has certain advantages, has a lot of infestors as well for fungals, but is lacking the Ling Bane. Specifically the Bane. We have 7 Banelings right now. Oh, in a good tank position here as well. Rocks get brought down. The rocks here, though, in the center are quite low, so technically trains could still try and go for a surround. But pushing into tank range is not going to be ideal. The Banelings, they're going to be going down, and the Marines survive. We get 1 tank for that. And it looks like that may just be it. Who needs upgrades? Not Roselia. 1-0. That's all we need, Papi, as we push on forward. The Ling Bane of ILikeTrains evaporates. GG gets called. And Roselia is going to be this week's Rice Cup champion. GG, well played. Oh boy, that was honestly a close game. That was a close one in the end. Could have gone either way. Of course, ILikeTrains had certain advantages, but not the best fights overall, and was lacking when it comes to overall macro cycles. I don't know if you saw, but towards the end there, ILikeTrains was banking up a lot of resources, but didn't have the larva to actually spend all those resources. So ILikeTrains was actually, I believe, missing injects, and as a result, just couldn't quite spend their money in time and actually muster up a defense. Oh, GG, well played. And congratulations, Roselia isn't just an SDO champion, but also a Rice Cup champion as well. There were quite a number of close games between Roselia and Trains and Roselia and HBT as well, but in the end it was just looking a little bit too powerful. It does come out ahead and is our champion this week. GG. Congratulations. Congratulations. Meanwhile, shout out to Trains. Shout out to ILikeTrains. He did do quite well for himself making it to the grand finals, and even in these 2 games, they were pretty damn close, and there were moments where ILikeTrains had the advantage as well. Just maybe, you know, not having too much experience, or maybe some pressure, the stress of being casted and being in a tournament format can sometimes get to you, and it can impact your play, can impact your macro cycles. So yeah, it can be difficult in that position. It's something that, you know, you just need experience in. You just need to power through, and eventually you'll be able to play like you always do as well. So GG, well played. Oh, there we have it. Congratulations to Roselia, and that is going to be the end of Rice Cup number 2, the end of the tournament. I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves. This is a bi-weekly tournament for diamond players, from bronze to diamond. So if you happen to be in those leagues, and if you want to participate and play in a tournament, then consider playing in the next one. Consider playing in Rice Cup number 2. I believe the next tournament is going to be in 2 weeks on the 27th. On the 27th of May. So not too long, not too far away. Not too far away. So yeah, you can be a part of it as well. Be a part of it as well. Flaunt your skills, get casted, and make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. There you go. There you go. Otherwise, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much. We did miss out on the first one. We didn't get to cast the first iteration, but at least we were here for the second, and we're gonna do our best to cast every single Rice Cup that we can. We'll do our best, Black people. Do our best. We'll do what we can. Massive shout out to Rise for actually funding the event and making this event possible as well. Rise, he's in the chat. He's an Australian Protoss player, and without Rise, the Rise Cup would not be a thing. So thank you so much to Rise. We really do appreciate it, and I'm sure the players and even the viewers appreciate it as well, because again, it's always a lot of fun casting amateur tournaments. It's not as serious as, like, you know, a KSL or a World Team League or an ESL Asia Cup, but still a lot of good fun nonetheless. A lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you. I'm catching up in the chat. Let's fucking go. See Roselia in the chat. I forgot the upgrades. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Our next broadcast is going to be in 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 30 minutes. We're going to be back with World Team League for our third and final broadcast for the day. Earlier today, we casted KSL. Now we just casted Rice Cup. And again, 2.5 hours WTL. So if you enjoyed the cast and if you want some more of it, I'm going to be casting with Yaku of the Zaku. I'm not going to be alone this time. So if you're interested, make sure you're there in time for World Team League, where the best of the best face off against each other. Let's go. I believe Team Liquid, Onside Gaming, who else is playing tonight, and some other teams as well. Starlight Twinkle, and what's the last one? What's the last one? Let me just double check. And Shopify Rebellion. So pretty big names, some pretty big teams. Be a part of it. Be a part of it. Oh, until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. You can follow the CranKy Ducklings on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We're all over the place. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. If you want to be a part of the Duckling community, we also have a Discord server, and we have a YouTube channel as well. So let me just we have a YouTube channel as well, where we upload VODs on a daily basis. On top of that, I just posted a link in the chat to Rise's Twitter. If you're interested in joining the next tournament, follow Rise on Twitter. He does post challenge brackets whenever they're live for the next Rice Cup tournament, so you can be notified for when the next event does occur. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon as well. You can see there we have a Patreon goal. The goal is to fund our tournaments. We do host our own tournaments throughout the week. We have Grand Platypus Open, we have Sparkling Tuna Cup, and we have the Tenacious Turtle Tussle as well. 3 big events, and yeah, we are hoping to maybe get some support by the community so we can help fund it, help raise more money, and boost the prize pool as well, and make our events bigger and better. That is at least our goal here on the CranKy Ducklings. So if you're interested, we have a Patreon. Otherwise, just consider following the channel. Also, sorry, it happened earlier, I didn't get to mention it. Massive shout out to Yowie Lover Boy 69 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your ducks. Hope you enjoy your emotes as well. Thank you. Thank you. It happened during the game, so I didn't notice it. So I apologize for that. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, with that, we're going to be heading off for the next couple of hours, and we'll be back with some more StarCraft. Until then, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.